the mind's amazed with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996, birth one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water where it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
Alright, what it do, everybody? What's good? Squad Nero back up in this thing. Your ultimate hub for all things anime. Whether you're a seasoned otaku or just stepping into the world of anime, you found your crew. I'm Sage, joined by Croco's Corner, Chef D, and T Smooth. Obviously, he's not here today. Here to guide you through epic battles, hidden gems, and unforgettable stories across anime, animation, film, and gaming. Tap in each week as we break down the latest, debate the hottest takes, and celebrate the culture. Make sure to please like, comment, and subscribe, and now let the anime journey begin. And not anime for this, we doing Marvel. But before we do all of that, obviously you see the setup is a little different. We ain't got T Smooth with us. He out with the family down in Florida enjoying himself. But we got a different guest. Y'all might have seen him before in past episodes, but we always appreciate P-Nerds, Phantom Nerds for coming on through. And we got Rose, what is the word? What is the word that I'm? God damn.
The word.
That's important.
The word.
That's important.
Yo.
Fuck. Representing P-Nerds. God damn. It's been one of them days, one of them Mondays. Representing P-Nerds with us today, Rose.
What's up, man? How y'all living, man?
We're doing pretty good. It's been a while.
Rob, when I was watching the movie, man, I thought about you for a second. I wonder what Rob feeling about this joint, man.
In a good way or bad way? I hope it was.
It was a good way, man. I know you was excited for the Spider-Man joint, man. I know you was.
I was.
But I still got a few bones to pick with you about how we got from the last joint to
What's up, my
Endgame.
peoples?
This
He's
here. He's supposed
man.
to be on daddy duties. This
Mind you, Rob just said
No.
he wasn't even
I'm
gonna
on
be here.
husband duty.
Oh.
I figured I'd stop in for a quick second. I appreciate y'all. As always, I'm sorry I can't stay long. I was going to give a quick 5 seconds. Spider-Man was heat. And y'all have a good day.
Nigga cut so clean you would thought it was
Appreciate
AI.
I'm just saying. I had to come in real quick just to say what up. I'm sorry.
Nigga cut so clean.
I appreciate y'all. I had a moment. Just wanted to say what up. And Spider-Man was great. Y'all have a
Out of
great
10,
show.
what you rating it? Out of 10?
A 9.8.
9.8?
9.8.
0.2?
Oh
All
my
right, we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it more when you come back.
I'll give my thoughts next time I'm on. I'll give my
All right.
thoughts.
Appreciate you,
All right, y'all.
Smooth.
Peace.
Give it up for Smooth, everybody. All right. Before we do that, wait, Rose, you said something before. You said how it went from before to now. You talk about just the Spidey?
I'm talking about what was before Spider-Man? Fantastic Four. And then how we gonna get from that to Endgame? I mean, we gonna talk about that in a few, but I got a few bones to pick.
The Doomsday. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get through these honorable mentions real quick. We're gonna fly through these joints. If y'all haven't been tapped into the news cycle, we've been off for like 2 weeks now, so we got to catch up to a lot of stuff. A federal judge temporarily has blocked Paramount.
Real
Warner
quick, Sage.
my
Why
bad,
don't we do just like one or
Spider-Man.
two of them?
One or two of them?
Then that way we could at least get to the Spider-Man stuff because our lovely guest of the show, I appreciate you, Rose, for coming through, but I know I don't want to have you sitting here dragging through for the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
brother.
We ain't got to talk about it. I was just gonna do that.
Let's just start with Spider-Man.
Start off with it. I bet. All right, you already here. We in if you haven't watched this joint, I'm sorry. We getting straight to the spoilers. So if you don't want to do the spoilers, go somewhere else or tap into us next week, or tap in with us next week, and we'll be going. We'll be going over it. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Y'all first thoughts so far after watching it this weekend? I'm assuming.
You go ahead, Rose.
I mean, I get that. I get that joint at little 8.5, little
8.5.
8.5.
Okay.
I thought it was a good movie. I was telling somebody this yesterday. I like how they made New York feel like an actual character in the movie. I feel like in the previous Tom Holland Spider-Mans, even though they took place in New York, we didn't really get to see the city for real. We was like all in like cosmic level events. You know, we had the whole multiverse thing, going on. We didn't really get to see Spider-Man doing like New York based things, taking on like local crime and stuff of that nature. This film, we for sure got to see that. So I thought that was live. I thought the whole him trying to get back to MJ and Ned type situation. I thought that was live. I thought it played out enough to where like you could feel it playing throughout the whole movie, but we didn't get like a full resolution of it, which I feel like was justified. Because if he had just everybody memories came back or something by the end of the film or like towards the middle of the film, I'd be like, all right, we kind of rushed that whole a little bit. But I'm glad that we didn't fully get the full resolution of that. So I think that was perfectly spaced out. I thought a lot of that, action fight scenes were good. When he was fighting like local crime, like local, street level thugs, it felt like I was watching like, the Spider-Man game in a way. You know how you kind of go through, you fighting like random crime members and stuff of that nature. And, he gonna whoop up on them, but it's still live to see him whoop up on them. I also like the whole Jean Grey element. At first, I thought it was like their way of revealing like Chameleon to us. I was like, okay, I wonder how they gonna make this play out if this is in fact Chameleon. But then when it was revealed that it was Jean Grey, I thought that was a pretty cool little twist. And just a cool way to introduce mutants as well. So, but like I said, it was a great movie. 8.5. So yeah.
All right, Nino, you.
I was in between like a 7.5 and an 8 for the movie. I thought it was good, but and I think just keeping up with everything since it was announced, watching all the trailers, reading all the leaks and spoilers just to see what was true, it's like it kind of ruined the experience a little bit because it's like, damn, I kind of knew this was gonna happen, or you saw it in the trailer, like, damn, I knew that was gonna play out, and then it was just like it was cool, but I would say overall it was enjoyable. I did like how they used the Hulk. I like I like the relationship with the Punisher and Spider-Man. I'm glad they didn't have Ned and MJ get their memories back at the end. Because even though it was 4 years, I'm glad Peter like had them live their own lives and he lived his. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the action was good. I do wish the villain was a little bit better. I know that they had Jean Grey as the villain, but I feel like really it was the what is it? Damage Control.
Yeah, William Metzger from
Yeah,
DC.
Metzger. I felt like he could have been a little bit. He could have had more of a presence, because you could see he was the villain like from the beginning. Like, all right, this you can't really trust this dude off rip. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. I wish Scorpion did have a bigger role in it. Like as a Spider-Man villain, I was like, okay, he's gonna have a bigger role. I did like the relationship between Peter and the cop. I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah, but overall, it was a good movie. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about how they setting up the next phase with Peter being the one to introduce the inhibitor chip. Because he was like afraid of his own mutation, whereas we see X-Men and other mutants there. They just let it kind of happen. It's part of who they are. So they say like, this is a gift. It's not something that we're trying to get rid of. So Peter indirectly being involved in something that's going to be detrimental to the mutants, moving on to the next phase. I thought that was pretty decent. I mean, not decent, but I thought that was pretty dope. And just how they set up everything moving forward, I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think the reason why my rating is kind of higher for it is I think it really just kind of falls on what you just said there. It was the setup of everything.
Yeah.
So I probably would give it like I did drop down on my rating. Originally, I said 10 out of 10 as soon as I jumped out the theater. But I'm going to go down to at least a 9.5. And my reason for why I even had any decreases, I thought that for a Spider-Man movie, the setup of it was very good from beginning to end. I thought what it established was really good in terms of MCU movies. This one had the most life to it. I know it is like Sony partnership and all of that, but I did think that this one had the most, let me rephrase that, the most comic book life to it, of a film that we've seen from them. And if not ever, probably, but at least a long while. So I was just pleased at how all of the pieces of it came together. I do agree with Nino though that I did wish that we did see more of like just like the traditional, and it's kind of leaning in a little bit to Rose's point too, like just a little bit more of the traditional heroes. It was kind of like, dang, only seeing blurbs. I understood it as the movie progressed and what it was trying to convey and saying it, but it would have just been nice to have been able to see that like his traditional villains have a little bit more of a role in the movie. Jean Grey being the big bad, I still don't really know how I feel about that. And one part of me loves it the way that it was set up because it makes me think, okay, we won't get the comedic team thing that we constantly see back and forth with Marvel. But then at
Right.
the other side, maybe it's like, reading the comic books and whatnot, it just kind of made me biased or whatever the case may be. But I'm just not used to seeing Jean Grey in that portrayal. Of course we got like Dark Phoenix and we got different things where she's been more aggressive, but normal Jean, which like without really necessarily all of the influences, it just felt it felt like maybe a little too dark for her character in a way. But I did tell myself I was going to go back and just kind of read more comic books where maybe she did have a little bit more of a defense, maybe like some of the books around members getting hurt or kidnapped in the case of like how the movie did with her sister, because I don't know, maybe I'm just like wrong on it, but I didn't necessarily have the best feeling with that. But overall I just thought the execution of it was good. I know that like T normally bring up this point and he hates it of the like talk no jutsu or the power of friendship that happens throughout films and whatnot. But I thought the way that they did the setup with Aunt May and Jean Grey throughout when she went into Peter's mind, I thought that was actually like a really well done version of something that's kind of been used over and over again in at least the animated and manga and comic space. So the presentation of it I thought overall was really good. The color, Rose, I want to kind of get your opinion on this too, because this kind of goes back to when we was talking about Superman and it was a big deal with Superman. The colors were a little bit darker. I thought that at first it was my theater, but then I saw more things online that kind of showed that no, there was kind of this combination. I thought the colors were fine. I didn't think there was anything necessarily wrong with it, but it was darker. And we used to seeing when we think of Spider-Man, we usually think of like the brighter, the teen, the different things like that. So it was a little, I don't know how it left me feeling, but I was kind of like, I did think that the movie would be a little bit brighter in the final cut than what it actually was. But yeah, so the little things that I could nitpick at, but outside of that, I really did enjoy the movie.
I got this at a solid 9.5. I ain't gonna lie, out of 10. I think overall, just a great comic book film. The best one that we've had in quite some time, I'd probably say. It wasn't too comedic. It wasn't too serious. It was a nice blend. And the topics that they was talking about, it makes sense for the character of Peter Parker. Even the elements with Jean Grey. Like, I feel like this is the most I've ever been interested in Jean Grey outside of a Dark Phoenix in regards to her, where she came from type of thing. Now this adds a little pizzazz to her character where if they end up going the Dark Phoenix route, it's not like this is out of the ordinary from a Jean who isn't being not necessarily controlled but restricted by a Charles Xavier or anything like that, and she truly just doesn't care. She's capable of doing this, and then it just sets up just the mutants and how people interact with them. Oh, look at Jean. What happened in New York City? That was a mutant that did it. Mesker, he got away at the end of the movie. He could just start going around sowing division and propaganda. Hey, mutants was doing that. Like, y'all thought y'all was gonna die in New York City? That was only just a girl who didn't even know the full capabilities of her powers, and she was trauma dumped OD, and then goddamn got another power up. So I think I overall like it. All the characters, it didn't feel like nobody was taking the show strictly from Spider-Man. It felt like a Spider-Man flick, through and through. I liked how they connected the whole universe as a whole too. I thought that was pretty nice. Quick question though, did y'all think that Jean? Because there's been a lot of discourse online. A lot of discourse online. A lot of people are saying they don't like the characterization of Jean and saying that it doesn't coincide with her comic counterpart. Did y'all think Jean Grey was too evil in this movie, and does that kind of lower the rating for y'all a bit in y'all decision?
I would say it's because she hasn't been introduced to Professor X yet, and I would understand that. You know, that's who we're used to in the comics, that Jean. But in this joint, I was like, yo, the old lady in the tank, OD. Walking back and letting the dude get hit by a cab, OD. Messing with Peter in the first place didn't make sense to me, and I say that's the one thing that kind of took me out because it's like, oh, Spider-Man, oh, you can see me, boom, 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 and then it was like just tormenting Spider-Man. Where it was like
He was working with the DLDC though.
yeah, but I'm saying it was like, okay, you see Spider-Man, but it's like I feel like it was just like, oh, I'm gonna target the people you love. It's like, okay, but
It was very personal.
yeah, it was like, yo, this got personal to a level where it was like, you don't even know him.
Yeah.
So why are you going after MJ? And then why are you doing all this? It's like you got in through the DLDC with a tank. You using Scorpion. It's like you hop in mines. I was like, all right. But then it was like when she's about to kill MJ, I'm like, all right, this a bit much. Like we get your sister died. Like that's the one thing the Vent Max I did. At first I was like, do I like that? But I was like, nah, I do, because she thought it meant something. But it was like, damn, that's like the last thing my sister saw. And I'm trying to figure out what VMAX is, and it's just a vent. Like that was her last vision of being alive.
That's crazy.
And then it's just like you putting Spider-Man through all of that, like for no reason. And the fact that you about to have MJ fall off a building, you went through her mind, you tormenting Peter, you doing all this, you about to use the Hulk, like knowing, like everybody in Marvel knows what the Hulk has done, like in the past, like when he's unleashed. And it's like, yo, you want to get to Metzger and them. I get you want to use the Hulk to break open the door, but it's like if you can't control it, what was gonna happen if he just got out to the city and you wasn't gonna stop it? Then end of the movie, she's just on a bus, and it's like, so you just like I know for a fact some people died in that tank scene when she was driving through Manhattan at 60 miles an hour. Like I know somebody died, and then it's just like, oh, Peter's like, I'm on your side. I know what it's like or whatever. Listen to my Aunt May tell me about responsibility, and he just lets her off. Like she should have been in some type of cuffs, bro. She
It
should
was a
have.
lot, yo. To Nino point, it was a lot.
I feel like, bro, like, and I get that we will all do that for a sibling. I understand that, but we gotta
she
realize
got bodies.
she got bodies, and you's about to let the Hulk go.
I gotta ask y'all though. There's a lot of niggas in the MCU and the hero side that got bodies. Yelena Belova, bodies. Scarlett Joe, bodies. Tony Stark, bodies. U.S. Agent, bodies. Sentry, bodies.
We see
Hulk,
that.
bodies.
We see that.
Wanda,
Yeah,
bodies.
It's a lot of heroes in the
these-
MCU with bodies, man.
It is a lot of assassins. It's a lot of assassins. I get that, but they all have been part of these stories, have been redeemable. Where in this movie, it's like, you know what? You almost killed my girl. You almost killed me. He's about to let the Hulk.
Oh, you like? Is it just me?
No, cut out.
Nah, he was lagging a little bit.
You
I
like
do
it?
get while he coming back. I do get what he's saying though. Like
I understand.
I get it. I get
but
it,
at
right?
the same time, this
Actually,
is
go
like
ahead,
chapter 1. This wasn't even a movie strictly tailored towards her. You feel me? This is
Yeah.
the Spider-Man film. They started the chapter 1, and I think we're gonna get the redeeming things later on. Like she started that when she helped Peter stay alive while he was recovering.
Facts.
That's her journey to redeeming herself. It's probably gonna take some time, yes, but this is also like the chapter 1 in her journey. We still haven't even fully finished chapter 1 yet. She hasn't even met Professor X yet, or Cyclops, or anybody else.
That's
So-
true. Also, I mean, ain't she like 15, 16? I don't know how old she is
They never really. I
during
don't
this
think
movie.
talked
Never,
about-
they
did
never really
show
talk
it?
on it.
say yeah.
Nah, but we know she's like kind of young, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, her mom, didn't want her and her sister, so it was just her and her sister, like, kind of raising themselves type stuff. So she never, throughout her life, she never really had like a guiding light or like a guiding person to like really just teach her what's right from wrong, what's going too far, what's not going too far. All she knows is, hey, yo, I'm trying to get my sister back. She got abducted by these people. As of right now, it's just me against the world type of situation. And when you also look at it, Peter was helping the
DODC.
National Defense niggas. I can't remember their name right now. But he was helping them at one point in the film. So at that point, it's like, oh, it's up for you too, because like you're helping these people who took my sister. I don't know your true affiliation with these people.
These
so I
niggas
do
are
get
bad.
it, Derek's point about that. However, you are affiliated with these people, and the only lead I have to my sister is VMAX, and there's nobody telling me about VMAX. So while I do get the point of like, oh, she was probably taking it too far. However, if you look at it from her point of view, it's kind of up for everybody who's along the side of the people who took her sister. And Spidey, you was on that side of the people who took her sister.
I feel like that perfectly encapsulates one of the main dilemmas of Peter Parker. Sometimes he's just too naive. He was too naive to think that he could wish people forgot about him in No Way Home, and then that cascaded into a whole bunch of shit that he didn't want to transpire. He was too naive to think that he can pick and choose which elements of his new powers that he wants to control. He was too naive to believe the Department of Damage Control. Too naive to believe, what's his name, Mysterio. All of these things, and I feel like that's something that eventually I hope they address. But I think it's one of his main points, and he's too good to a fault.
Yeah.
But shouldn't that be
He's too
something
naive
that's
for Green
like
Goblin.
exact? It's like, bro, like we done had 4 movies, and it's like you still trusting every single thing somebody said. It's like I get like he's a good dude, but it's like after you've been to space and you've been wished away, and then all of this shit didn't happen, and your Aunt May died. It's like you should be like, you know what? Let me take precaution. Let me do this. But I mean, to that point, Jean could have been like, hey, they got my sister. She could have said something.
He has been slowly but surely, but he still has that weakness.
Yeah.
Like,
Which we
of,
saw
like,
that in
letting
the
his guard
movie.
down. Yeah.
Because like when he
has
went into
gotten
that
better.
office and dude was telling him, like, he was asking him, like, do you know about VMAX and all that stuff? Like, it was that Spider-Man slyness, like just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of attitude. But he did kind of cut his eye at Metzger, whatever his name was. He did cut his eye at some of the things that he said. And he didn't, like, you could kind of tell that he didn't fully trust him. And I feel like that is a progression, given all the things that Sage said, that it might be a very small progression, but I do feel like that's somewhat of a progression from the character that we saw who had
He
been
did
so
fully
naive.
trust him though.
Not really.
Yes, he
think
did. Because
he
when
fully
he was like, oh, she said Sarah because that's someone I knew that was close to me that passed. Peter was like, oh, okay. And then he went to Ned and them, and she was like, oh yeah, when she left my mind, it felt like nothing happened. Like I couldn't remember anything. And
I
then
think the
she was
very
like,
fact that
I
it
was
was
here,
like-
and then I was there. And it was like he trusted Metzger, and he was like, oh, he lied to me. It's like, nigga, it took you to the third act.
They could have shown more of, I do agree, they could have shown more of him, like, actually having a lack of belief and trust in Metzger, but I do still think that it existed there. It was kind of one of those things where it was like a more body language tell, but it was like, you know how you don't trust somebody, but you ain't got no proof to really tell whether they
Nigga, he
did
got
or
there's
didn't,
no,
so
this
you
don't make
just
sense
kinda
because he got
weary.
spider sense, nigga.
It can't tell him that.
Nigga,
Sense
Spider
can't
Sense
tell
told
him,
him,
like,
told Spider Sense told him the Goblin was coming out in the last movie. Spider Sense showed him Jean Grey was hopping through niggas' heads.
yeah, but it can't tell him when somebody lying explicitly.
That's true.
Bruh, come
It
on.
just lets them know that danger is coming. Or danger is
Yeah, I felt like Metzger wasn't dangerous enough.
To your point though, I do hope, and the Sage's point, I do hope that they do actually touch on this a little bit more, because y'all both are right. It has been a thing where it's been like a growing problem, where all of the biggest problems that he always runs into is a result of that kindness or that too kind, too trusting, and naive behavior that he has. So I do hope, to y'all points, I really do hope they bring it up.
But that's just like a key. Like that's something you got to live with as Spider-Man. It's gonna be a lot of stupid shit that he do, just trying to be nice. just trying to take people for the best possible position that they could be in. And that's why he get in a lot of bullshit that he get into. It's just something that you just gotta live with. Just like Tony Stark being an asshole. It's something you just gotta live with, you know? Steve Rogers being a goody two-shoes. You just gotta live with it, you know?
I guess that's also makes the point of Spider-Man, the fact that he is like kind of naive and tries to see the good in everybody, because he is like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So I guess that's just part of it. His ability to see everybody, the good in everybody, or try to see the good in everybody.
I'm curious though how this new power setup is gonna operate when he gets that black suit. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you. The one thing that threw me off was the turning into natural webs, and he has like this evolution, I guess, in his spider powers. Didn't see that coming at all. I could have swore it was like an illusion or something temporary. God forbid a man spider. But I'm curious how they use that power set and then couple it with the black suit potentially in Secret Wars, because that's gonna be crazy.
Because we really seen? Well, we only saw a glimpse of him
Hold on.
operating at like
Do anybody-
Spider-Man strength. Because everything else is he's always in them tech suits, them Stark suits or whatever. But I mean, the mutation only came about under extreme anxiety. That's the same thing that happened to Jean. It was like she's stronger than her sister, and then bam, like the powers manifested like that. But she was under like extreme duress.
I love that they did that too, because I think they only showed that really with Emma Frost, I believe, when she got the diamond ability. I think that was in Genosha, when Genosha got attacked and got blown up, and then she was through that immense stress, and then she ended up getting that second mutation. I like how they gave Jean the telepathy first, and then the telekinesis after the mutation.
Did y'all like Sadie Sink as Jean though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought she brought it. I think acting wise, this was like top tier Marvel acting.
I would say, like, to Rose's point, having New York feel like a character, not just like with the scale of it, but also with like the people on the street. I thought everybody that had a role in being Jean in the Mind, I thought they did really well. I was like, yeah, they actually bringing this whole neighborhood Spider-Man thing together, because he was just going on the street, walking around and shit too. So I was like, okay, this is different. But that's why they did say they took inspiration from the game, like Rose mentioned before, like the dudes he fought on the rooftop, and before they fell off, he was webbing them up so they wouldn't, hit the ground or whatever. I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah.
Did the niggas crib throw y'all out of there? Like, how does nigga afford this?
Bro, I just real quick, I was wondering, because the last time we saw him, he's in a small crib and he had a sewing machine. He didn't have no tech.
Yeah, I was wondering. The tech part is what threw me off a bit.
Yes.
That threw me off a little bit, because I'm like,
like,
how is he affording any of this for real?
And I get that was 4 years ago, but it's like you got a tech mask that's helping you map out how far she able to jump, and you got a treadmill and all these monitors. I'm like, he ain't even got a job.
3 monitors and a
yeah.
treadmill, not too
He's not
crazy.
even linked up with like or he shouldn't be linked up with Stark Industries like that anymore. Like,
that's what I was thinking, and I'm like, that's the same thing that I said. He not affiliated with them anymore. It's funny when he brought it up, the Punisher. Like, so you telling me you have this, and this? I'm like, shouldn't Punisher be asking you that?
exactly.
Like, what you mean?
I kind of like that they didn't bring it up though. Like in this movie, it was a lot of times where they just stated shit, or they just showing you shit, and they're like, "We're not gonna explain to you how this happened. We're not gonna explain to you where Scorpion got his suit from. The nigga just got it, and you just gotta live with that." And I kind of like that.
I feel like
think
having some explanation as to why Spider-Man can afford all of this shit with no job, I think that would make sense though.
I mean, he could have had a job. Like
Doing what though?
Yes.
he could have been delivering pizzas
mean-
just like he was in Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
You ain't making
Delivering
that
pizzas in New York City in 2026. You're not buying a monitor.
He also, nigga.
Also, I will say this. I guess to Rob's point, it's kind of like comics. Like, they just throw shit at you, and you just kind of have to take it as part of the storyline. It's kind of like that. I see your point there, Rob.
It's not like this nigga was living in a penthouse and fucking overlooking Central Park. This nigga was in the storage shack with the asbestos around him, my nigga. He was getting that shit dirt cheap.
If they showed him delivering pizzas, I would have been like, "There's no way this nigga can afford everything he has." I'm glad I don't know what he does for a living, actually. I can just draw my own conclusions, I guess.
I thought the government was paying him or something.
He could have got a life insurance policy. This is probably the easiest. A life insurance policy from his aunt.
Low-key,
Who knows?
Could have been something like that. Or it could have been, to Derek's point, the Gov, you Spider-Man, we're going to cut you a little.
You've been cleaning up the streets. They acknowledged it in the movie, gave him a
But
little.
no, how can he get a life insurance policy if nobody knew who he was?
They don't know that he's Spider-Man.
But he said, I wish nobody knew who Peter Parker was. So if nobody know who Peter Parker is, that means he ain't on no will.
Damn.
He ain't getting nothing.
Nah, but that happened. But it happened before though. I guess it could still be in writing. You still like the people that.
It's not
if you do that in writing, Mary Jane gonna have other shit in writing from Peter. Ned and him gonna have other things in writing that they had before.
Oh, that detective must have just felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, where you staying?
I stay in this shack up here up in Queens. Damn, nigga, here go a monitor.
Or that nigga was just dumpster diving. It is the city, Who knows?
You're right.
That nigga could just be taking it from the illegal operations that he busted up too.
That
like,
makes
hey,
no
let
sense.
me reuse this shit.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't
They got a
use it.
monitor right here? Let me grab that.
I am surprised that one scene where he was web swinging without his mask on. I guess we kind of all would have been too. You seen your joint like kiss another dude. I did like the web swing. I was like, damn, he kind of like he did have different stages of web swinging. Like he was swinging fast as hell through the rain, hella emotional. I'm like, damn, I kind of feel him.
Yeah.
You could tell.
He kept saying, what was he doing?
You can tell that. That one was sad. But when she said, "I don't love you anymore," that other girl loved you. I'm different, and then he had to take her home.
She's like, I don't have a phone.
That was
Oof.
I would have dropped Shorty.
bro.
That nigga was carrying her swinging. I would have had her
Angry
swinging from her
shit.
own. She would have been swinging from her own web.
What was he saying when he first picked her up? Webb, stop. Webb, stop. I know he ain't say shit when he took her back. He like, yeah, these shit's gonna work or they not.
They had him pulling that shit like.
That nigga had the Puss in Boots face when she was like, "You want to come upstairs and say hi to Ned?" He was like, "Really?" That nigga
That's
was
what
so
I did.
happy.
I would say I did like the relationship between all three of them more this movie. It was less like childish and jokey, and we didn't have them like in every other scene. It was like, we just got the right amount of MJ, the right amount of Ned, and then that was it. Cause I'm like, I can't deal with that Ned Leeds nigga, bro. I really
Didn't
did not
get
like
that
character.
other dude too. That was I feel like a big part.
Flash. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't have Flash.
Ain't need that, bro. I'm so glad.
I ain't need no Flash.
I gotta notify the people out there, them on Twitter. For whatever reason, niggas think that the fucking spell was altered by Jean somehow. Possibly with MJ. I don't know because of that last scene that we seen her in on the roof. But Ned, the spell with Ned was not fixed. Earlier in the movie, Spider-Man left a crib to go after William Metzger. MJ screams Peter.
Right.
And then something else. And then Ned was like, "Oh, Spider-Man's name is Peter." And then when he did the dap up, obviously that was muscle memory, but he put two and two together where he was like, "Oh, Peter?"
Yeah, right. It was like that, yo.
For whatever reason, niggas think,
He
Jean
broke it.
messed up,
No.
broke the spell. No.
Because if Jean Grey broke his spell, I'm pretty sure MJ would have been at the hospital. That would have been the first thing her and Ned would have done. They would have gone to the
Yeah, they would
hospital.
have been right there with Punisher.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
I didn't even know.
Well-
You got anything?
Maybe they would have been right there. But if they're trying to because I think in the letter he explains what happened in terms of why he did the whole memory loss situation. So if they kind of have the understanding of he's trying to keep us safe by creating distance, maybe they wouldn't have showed up to the hospital on that occasion. Because at that point, if you show up to the hospital, you're sitting in Spider-Man's room, somebody's gonna notice that y'all have actively visited this man's room. So if his ops are paying attention or something,
That's a good
maybe.
point.
All I know is Dr. Umar would love that nigga Tom Holland because that nigga said no to snow bunnies every single opportunity that has been given to him. White girl was in the hallway. Oh, I didn't know you live on my floor. Nigga said, I'm going up to the attic then. You'll never see me ever again.
Nah, going up to the attic was crazy.
It's crazy work.
He said,
Nigga couldn't say hello, have a conversation. He said,
"Oh, you live on my
up.
floor?" He said,
I'm out
I'm
of
not
there.
high enough. Throw me in the attic, man.
I'd be on the roof if I got to, goddammit.
I'll live wherever. Just don't have me on the same floor. Sorry.
Nah, in the juicy sweatpants, crazy. Crazy work.
Yeah, no, that was funny.
Crazy work. Post-credit scene. If y'all don't know, if y'all didn't stay in the movie theater, there was a post-credit scene for Spider-Man Brand New Day. It was the Spider Tracker app saying that a new spider, what was it? Sighting.
Like alert.
Yeah, sighting was seen, and you start to see that the Spider Tracker spans out and is going to outer space. What do y'all think that post-credit scene was about? Do y'all think it was Tom Holland's Spider-Man out there, or do y'all think it's a completely different Spider-Man out there?
I could see it being a different Spider-Man. I mean, given the fact that we're heading into like a multiverse in the whole movie, I think it was just a different Spider-Man type situation. That's all.
Yeah. At first, I was thinking, like, because of the leaks and everything we talked about, I was like, this got to be a different Spider-Man. They just kind of like throwing us off. Because I mean, with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I don't know, bro. Like, I just don't think he's gonna be in this Doomsday movie.
I don't think so either.
But I'm like, why would they use the tracker for that though?
Just
I guess to throw us off.
Yeah, just
act like, oh, this Peter's going off world.
With us going into Doomsday, and I don't know, like, timeline wise, with everything going on in Doomsday, I'm not exactly sure where like this Spider-Man movie landed in the mix of all of that.
It's between Thunderbolts and Doomsday.
Okay.
Supposedly this takes place in October/November of 2028. Thunderbolts happen a little bit earlier in 2028, if I'm not mistaken. Thunderbolts and Wonder Man are the two closest projects timeline-wise to this. And then Doomsday happens somewhere in like November, December of 2028.
Okay, so with knowing that, it could possibly be to y'all point that it wasn't Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but we do know that Tobey Maguire's is supposed to be in what's ever happening. It could be that's like a symbol to the incursions is happening, and that's him popping up on it. Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
What Spider-Man? Yeah, so y'all leaning towards Toby? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know.
Based
could
off
do
this
something
movie,
crazy
I'm
if they
leaning
do
towards
Miles.
Toby. I mean, there was nothing in this movie that said he's going to be involved in Doomsday, or any other characters from this movie will be involved in Doomsday, including Jean Grey. I think we'll see him in Secret Wars. Maybe not Jean Grey, but we'll see Tom Holland Spider-Man. I just don't see us seeing Hulk or Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man in Doomsday like that for real. And if they do, I mean, I know it's like a almost 3-hour movie, but there's just no way you can fix that in, because he had no crossover at the end of his movie with anything that's going on in Endgame. If you just throw that in, I mean, you're already kind of throwing a bunch of random stuff in already, but if you just throw that in, I don't think that's gonna play out too well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we already got a lot of catch-up game to do for Doomsday alone. That's
Which
a
is
really
my
good
question
point.
for Rob, bro. How are you gonna explain this, bro?
Because they gonna explain it in the movie. Like,
God, bro.
they really will though.
About half
Like,
of the movie gonna be explanation of how we got to this.
I don't think it's gonna half of the movie gonna be explanation, but it's just gonna be like, kind of like how arcs operate in mangas or manhwas. You get the explanation while the shit is going on. You got some time for the explanation, and you got some time for the hands, type of thing. And I think they won't get into full explanation for like Doom's background or something like that, but we'll get tidbits. Like, from the rumors and leaks that we've been hearing, a lot of people thought, oh, Doom won't have a backstory with this Reed that we seen in the recent Fantastic Four. And the leaks and rumors have said, no, that's a lie. Like, they actually do have a backstory, and they'll be talking about that in Doomsday. Like, a lot of characters that they didn't announced in that chair thing that they did last year, there was a lot of characters that are supposed to be in this film that they never added to that chair scene. So we could very well have a Tom Holland in here, especially knowing that he has a connection with Elena.
That ain't gonna be a post-credit scene.
I think that. I don't think he's gonna be in Doomsday.
It's a possibility he could be. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in there. Let's say that. Supposedly, we're gonna get a whole lot of characters that we didn't think was gonna be in either of these movies. Ryan Gosling, Ghost Rider, is supposed to make an appearance in Secret Wars.
I can see that.
Like I didn't expect that. I know Tom Holland is gonna be in one of these films.
He'll be
I
in
lean
Secret
more
Wars.
towards Secret
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah.
I lean more towards Secret Wars, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if I seen him in Doomsday, especially after he just did what he just did in the box office. This is the highest box office opening weekend domestically. It beat Endgame, my nigga. On the route to get $2 billion.
For him in Doomsday.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna
you're
have him go
forcing
off
if you
world
just
and do
don't
the
do
same shit again.
Yeah.
Would it be crazy? I wouldn't mind if it was Tobey Maguire that they used for this Spider-Man in Doomsday. Would it be crazy if the Fantastic Four gave him that Future Foundation? He too old to be in that outfit, or no?
No, it wouldn't be crazy.
To
I
like
think it could be a very
differentiate the
real
two.
possibility. I think it could be a situation of like maybe because I know at the end of Doom's Fantastic Four, they showed the whole Doomsday situation, like Doom being there, and then at the end of the Thunderbolts, they showed the Fantastic Four ship like coming into orbit or whatever. I mean, it could be a situation where maybe Toby is on the ship. They was pulling up to different worlds. They slid on his world. His world was getting destroyed. They was like, hey, we trying to figure out a solution. Slide with us, and maybe he's on the ship. It could be a situation like that. But I do think, based off that post-credit scene, it could very well be like Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man for sure.
I think they have the opportunity to. I don't know if y'all going to see that Endgame encore.
No.
I was contemplating it, but I might do it just to see those extra scenes. I think they're going to be using that too in order to try and start the connecting the dots process for the fans. And then I
I'm
think
be honest,
the rest
I don't
of
really
Doomsday.
love that they doing that though, because I just feel like it's so much in between that the ending of that movie couldn't exactly correct. Like Loki came after that, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the bulk of like the stuff involving the incursions, do they fit it around like?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that how
supposed
it would
to.
go?
They're fitting it around the whole concept of what happened, what transpired in Endgame that helps connect the dots. Like Tony Stark saying, "When you mess with time, it tends to mess back." A lot of people expected, hey, they would use this. Now they can actually flesh it out.
It's like
and
it's
be
like the
how
snap
did
started
he-
everything.
How did he learn? How did Tony know that time was gonna impact back? And then they said they were gonna add scenes about Cap's process, Steve's process of going back in time and returning all the stones as well, and how that transpired, which we didn't see outside of him staying with Peggy and everything like that. So they can use a lot of these things to help build more of a cohesive bridge for people to be like, all right, I'm locked in for Doomsday. Now I have a little bit better understanding of what's going on. But I think that's the beauty of Doomsday too. It's a lot of mysterious things at play. And what better villain to use for all this mysterious shit, all this shit happening in the background than Dr. Doom?
Man,
The
they
only
could've just
thing-
recast Kang, bro.
Rose,
I
Rob
disagree.
is a major Marvel fan, so whatever move Marvel gonna make, he's just
He
gonna be
gonna
100%
But the-
locked
He
in.
gonna vouch.
But the whole
100% on board.
the whole plan, and this was years
Oh,
back in. No. I'm being so serious.
Yo, if Rob say what I think he about to say, I'm about
Yeah,
to
so
debunk this
Don't
whole
do
shit.
that,
the
Rob.
whole
Don't
plan
do that.
was to start with Kang Dynasty. Literally, there's reports on this. It was to start with Kang Dynasty, and then Doom was supposed to come in Secret Wars and take over from Kang.
Okay.
That was the whole plan. I
right.
promise you, if you look this up,
I can believe that.
If
I
you
can
look
believe
this up, that was their whole plan. Because
But where we are now was not the original plan.
It wasn't the original plan. No.
And they could have stuck with the original plan.
Bro,
All you have to do is just recast.
You're gonna be
bro.
hard to find a nigga of the caliber of Jonathan Majors.
Not really.
No,
For
you
the
not.
Not
for
really.
the
That's a
Jonathan
cop-out.
Majors price
That's a
that he
cop-out,
was
bro.
at.
That's because
At that
Rob, look
time.
at
That's
if
a
you
cop-out,
say
bro.
because Kevin Feige and them, they remember. I remember you said on the show they would say, "Well, we realized Kang, it really wasn't going to land, so we wanted to pivot to Doom." It wasn't just like they came out and said that.
That too, yeah.
But they could have easily recast him and had someone else in that role and then still gone with what they had because now you scramble doing all this stuff for Doomsday. It's like, all right, cool. You could have done that, but it like bro, we have too many white actors getting away with some bullshit. We have Jared Leto starring in movies. Ezra Miller had his Flash movie come out amidst all of that bullshit that he was doing. We had all these other dudes had their movies come out. All of a sudden, Jonathan Majors do something, and now his whole character is shelved.
Yeah, it's not even just
Now
The
his
whole
whole
character.
The whole character's like, you know what? Since he did that shit, we'll get rid of him and his character. Act like nothing happened. We just gonna move over to Doom and give it to Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. had his redemption arc. In the '90s, was he's not hiding in bushes, doing drugs, and doing all this other shit?
He was.
All of a sudden, not come on, bro. Like that, you shouldn't have not.
To your point too, Nino, the reason why they can't say that they couldn't just recast Kang is because the primary Kang that you had in Loki, they already killed that version off. And we already saw there was multiple versions of Kang. So replacing the character in terms of the storyline really wouldn't have been that difficult.
Bro,
At all.
exactly. Could have just been another variant of Kang, and y'all could have just called it a day.
I think trying to weave the story. I don't disagree with this. This is the one part that I just been saying. I'm going to take my time and see what the movie has to offer. But how they going to weave, especially if to your point, Sage, Doom is operating in the backgrounds, which is something that happens traditionally in the comic books as well. How are you going to tell this character's story and the build up, and they in the background, and we only got a little under 3 hours? How are we going to get all of this explained?
Before I would have those issues, I'd be like, I don't know. Marvel has been kind of slacking lately, but as of recently, Marvel has shown me when they put their mind to something and they're not expanding too fast in other ventures, multiple shows in a year, all of this jazz, multiple movies in a year. I have faith that they'll be able to weave a cohesive thing, and I think it's just the story for them too.
Bro,
Whatever brought up from Doom and RDJ and how they was going to manipulate it and whatever pitch it was, it had to be absolutely phenomenal for the Russo bros to come back.
Bro, it was just fan
And
service.
RDJ.
It was just fan service. This whole movie is just about to be fan service.
Bro.
I mean,
like,
niggas
that's
love
also
fan
why-
service though.
No, we
Also-
love fan service, but at the same time, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like the story had to be amazing because this and this. Like, nigga, they said the same thing about Ant-Man Quantumania. This script, this story is amazing, and then you get in the movie and you like, yo, this is probably the worst shit you've ever seen.
Facts.
Who said that?
A lot of people, same thing they said about
Bro.
James Gunn said about the Flash movie. It's one of the best superhero movies ever made. The script is phenomenal. People will come out and say all of this stuff.
They will.
Bro,
Just
they
to get you in the
gave
seat.
they just gave the Russos, Robert Downey Jr., and Chris Evans blank checks.
And
They said,
"Do
"Come make
something."
this shit work because we ain't touching a bill if we got Kamala Khan leading the Avengers.
Nah, facts.
We ain't sniffing if we got fucking who's Captain Marvel? Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
We got Brie Larson, Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, and the Thunderbolts. We not hitting $1 billion with an Avengers film, so we need all y'all old niggas to come back. You know
We
what?
need y'all to slide back and get us right. I think,
Yeah.
and also the reason the Spider-Man film is so good, they just kept it simple, bro. They ain't have to overdo anything. This in-game business, they having to overdo it a little bit. Why you think they brought the background, Rob? They like, man, look, we in over our heads. Let's do what we do best, fan service.
Yeah, like
They about
honestly,
to cook, man. I think
'cause-
they about to cook.
Also, you got to understand, and I know that we're going to talk about this a little bit more in detail at a later point in the pod, but all of the numbers tracking with when they tried to do the diversification of characters that they did, be it a Middle Eastern character in Kamala Khan or Brie Larson kind of being looked at as like a titular feminine character, or Captain America Sam Wilson. When all of these things, they looking at it back and they getting backlash, that also was them kind of going back into the fan service was saying, okay, we just need a regular Captain America. We just need if they could bring Iron Man back, they know they can't. So they was just like, we'll just give him another role. But if they could bring Iron Man back, I'm pretty confident they'd be like, yeah, no, let's just run it back. We'll figure this all out in 2030.
I think that's what just happened. They got too caught up in fan service. They started trying to make all these different shows, all these different characters that nobody really asked for real. And they was like, oh, we're going to hit all the markets all at once. And when you start trying to do all that, you start to oversaturate stuff, and your quality goes down. It's just, it's simple, like, it's simple things. You increase quality, quantity, your quality goes down. Mm-hmm. They started mass pushing out and mass producing, and they took a quality hit.
So you didn't like the Doomsday trailer that they dropped?
I mean, it was nice, like, it was cool, but like, it's just a bunch of fan service. Like,
it's not a story. I agree. It don't make me feel like it's a story like the Spider-Man we just saw.
I feel like
I haven't gotten that feeling.
The Doom trailer they put out for CinemaCon, I thought it was just like really rushed and put together. But the San Diego Comic-Con version, the Comic-Con version that they leaked online, I feel like if they released that, it felt more coherent because you got to hear from Reed, from Sue, from other characters, and it felt like, oh, there's and you hear like some of Doom's motivations. You're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But before it was just Flash, picture this nigga, picture this person, picture Thor doing this, picture that. Here go Thor swinging a hammer and somebody stopping. It's like, all right, but that ain't telling me about nothing going into this shit.
I think because that was a teaser trailer. It was deliberately shot like that.
Look, man, I'm gonna just say I'm not. If I have to watch one movie in December, if I only get the choice of one movie to watch in December,
you better not choose Doom.
I'm choosing Doom, baby.
No, you crazy.
Give me Doom 3, baby.
Doomsday about to be mopping that shit. I mean, nah, it's probably gonna be just like the Odyssey is doing with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Doom gonna get his money, especially because they got the IMAX for like I think 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
So they gonna be doing something, but Doomsday, I think we in 2.5 Billy territory. If I'm assuming and looking at these numbers correctly,
like you got. Come on, it's gonna do numbers. Like
that story is gonna be impeccable, dog.
But the movie gonna be cheese.
Well, you know what the funny part is? We actually talked about this
Story
last year, and we was like,
it gotta be if it want to work. It gotta be impeccable.
We said this though. We asked this question. We said, do we think that there's a chance that Spider-Man could be a better story than Doomsday? And none of us could really give a confident answer that it was impossible that couldn't be the case. And now after seeing Spider-Man,
it could very well be the case.
I think,
because remember we talked about when Captain Marvel made $1 billion. We can all agree that movie was not $1 billion.
Not a good movie. Yeah.
That movie was supposed to show what she was doing after Infinity War. What was going on the cosmic side, but it did not do that. It only delivered because of the hype at the time. Where after Infinity War, it's like, yo, the next joint coming out about to be fire, and you go to the theater and everybody disappointed. The Endgame come out and she only in that bitch for 4 minutes.
Not Doomsday going to be the Captain Marvel.
Oh no, hell no, no. I'm not trying to say that.
Crazy.
Now, if it was, no.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's just I don't see this being like I see this being like a 6 out of 10 movie, man.
6 out of 10? Ooh, I'm gonna make sure we get the whole P nerds here.
It's gonna be
for the exclusive Doomsday review, spoiler review, and I'm gonna make sure if that 6 out of 10 stand. If he come in here and say anything more 6.5, I'm on your ass.
Bro, it's going to be a 6 out of 10 movie, man. It's all fan service. And that's cool. Fan service, it's going to make you money.
They can really, I can understand y'all qualms and y'all hiccups with it. And I agree. They're going to have an impeccable story for niggas to really feel like this was worth their time. I just personally think from what I've been hearing, it's going to be an impeccable story, and Secret Wars might double down on that shit tenfold.
Bro, they say that for every movie, and them hoes be coming out mid.
Yeah, before, but then with this ain't the same MCU from the past couple years.
Oh.
Like the last couple projects, you can't say it's the same MCU.
What was the last couple projects?
Captain America: Brave New World was the last
Trash.
mid. I'd say mid. It's not
Fantastic
trash.
Four was trash.
Low key.
Was Brave New World worse than Quantumania?
They in the same boat to me.
They in the same boat.
Oh, that's crazy. I call
Bro,
Brave
wait,
New
hold
World
on.
mid.
There's no way you can explain how a nigga with no super serum be a nigga that's a Red Hulk, bro.
Hawkeye has no powers at all, and this nigga was fighting Chitauri aliens.
Robert, the Chitauri alien. This is like Black Widow taking a punch from Thanos in the back of the head. A vibranium suit, bro. Put it this way: Wolverine can't even cut through Colossus' flesh because he's not strong enough. But you mean to tell me vibranium's strong enough to where a nigga with no superhero soldier serum is tanking a punch dead on from the Hulk and not even feeling it?
And not even like a regular
No,
Hulk.
he
This
was
is
feeling
Red
it
Hulk.
though.
That nigga wasn't
I
pulling no
rewatched
punches.
that Brave New World recently, or I at least watched a fight scene with him and Red Hulk. He was feeling them motherfucking punches the
He
whole
should have
fight.
been dead, Rob.
He
He
stopped
should have been
Red
dead.
Hulk. Red Hulk-
That suit that was
should have
helping
been
him.
dead.
Red Hulk
He
swung a
should-
light pole at him and he caught it with his hands and used the jetpack.
Rob, he should have had life-threatening injuries, Rob. He should have had life-threatening injuries.
He should
Probably
not be
been
in this
beat up
next
more, yeah, I guess. But outside of that, every project since then has been kind of banger. X-Men 97, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, what else?
Whoa.
Rose, this is
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four was good.
Are not bangers.
I don't think
Those are not bangers.
Thunderbolts
Good-
was
good
different.
to bangers.
Stylistically, it was not a banger of a movie.
Good to
Bro,
bangers.
it was not a banger.
It was a
Good.
lot
That's
better
coolest
track record.
6.5, let's 7.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
No, that's about.
I say Fantastic Four was an 8.
No way.
Yeah,
They
it's
come
around the
on,
same as
Rob.
Superman. To be
Come
honest
on,
with you,
Rob, don't do that, bro.
it's around the same as Superman to me.
When I
Superman was better.
first saw it, I think I might have rated it at an 8 too. But like, if I'm really and I'll go back and rewatch it too. I want to rewatch a lot of this stuff before Doomsday come out. But what was it? What was in Fantastic Four that was like critically a standout moment?
I think the chase scene, with the Fantastic Four running away from Silver Surfer. I think that whole moment of them beating Galactus and then having to leave out. I think that was probably one of the most memorable scenes, especially that chase scene in space.
In comparison to what you may will consider the greatest moment in Thunderbolts, or the more climactic moment or intense moment in Spider-Man, did it hit the same? That
what would you say was the most climactic moment in the
I don't
first
even think I
Spider-Man?
did. No, in the Spider-Man, yo, bro, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like everything that we went through with Jean Grey, the moment that it kind of turned up and she got to the, she got to the DOD, all the way to the ending was
It was pretty-
phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing in Fantastic Four that was like even remotely. I had a experience and an enjoyable experience to the level that I did for that. Nothing was even remote to that in Fantastic Four. And with Thunderbolts, I think like once we started to get to all of the stuff with Bob, granted it is the Century and everybody is like, how is the MCU going to showcase the Century? I think even despite that caveat, it was still a more like it was a moment where I could be more locked in on that than anything that happened in the Fantastic Four movie. It just kind of felt like a movie, like in hindsight looking at it, it just felt like a movie that was there for us to get the Fantastic Four in the MCU. More so than it was like, oh no, this is like a really good. There was some like dialogue segments, like that dialogue with Sue, that was cool. Like it was moments like that was cool. But it still didn't take away from the overall feeling and sentiment that the film was just meant to set up the Fantastic Four being in the MCU. And that's why, like, yeah, like I like because I like the movie, but I don't know if I would disagree with the stance of it being above a 7 out of 10.
I don't know if I can. I mean,
But
all right. Let me
I'm
change
still with
it.
you on Thunderbolts and Brave New World. Like, I still think that both of those movies they showed more of a stride, and Marvel getting a little bit more polished with the writing, but it's still a small subset ultimately. Like, I know you got a lot of hope in Doomsday, but because we still have a relatively small subset in regards to where it has been shown that Marvel has made concrete changes to the writing format for these movies, I don't like. I'll put it like this: I wouldn't be shocked if the story was bad in Doomsday. I know that it, to Rose's point, I know that it has all of the fanfare and fan fiction, and they cater to everything that a fan would want. But I don't know if that's going to necessarily say, yeah, that means that the story is going to be great as well. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I hope to be wrong in that. That's what I look for. I think, Rose, I think you kind of like me in that regard. Like, I always tell them, I'm like, if the story hitting, you gonna get a high rating from me. Like, I love it when the story kind of, like, I'm locked into the story. Like, screw the characters, screw everything else. Am I locked into the story that you're telling? If you got me on that, whether you got characters I want to see, or whether the scenery and everything looked a certain way, or even the costumes, and I can be picky about the costumes. All of that stuff can kind of take a back seat if you just tell me a really, really good story. That's why I was so high with Spider-Man. I'm like, yo, like, from start to finish, though, this is, to me at least, it felt like a really good story. Like, I could see that movie in a comic book. Like, as a one-shot comic book, I could picture that movie. And it would be a comic book that I would rate high for a Spider-Man comic book.
Yeah, I don't see Avengers Endgame, Doomsday. I don't see Doomsday having that type of story for real. It's just too much to, like, the pivot is too crazy for one, because, like, you just want us to forget about Kang. Like, that nigga does not exist.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like, at all. He just doesn't exist. Everything that happened before this, it just never happened for real.
Yeah, bro.
Like, it didn't happen. Like, I didn't watch 2 seasons of Loki. I didn't
Right.
watch Ant-Man Quantumania. I didn't watch none of that shit he was in. None of that happened. For real.
I think they're gonna bring it up though, and I think that's a pivotal reason why they brought Loki back too. Because I mean, the events from Kang and everything is the reason why Loki has the power that he does right now. So they gonna have to use it.
Loki gonna pull up on somebody. I don't know this dude, but he just pulled up. He wiped the whole universe of Kangs out.
Would y'all be happy if Doom? Yeah, if Doom did that.
And not like we don't get nothing behind it. That's the point that you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the substance behind the action that also does play a part in it being a good story. It with no substance behind it, it's just kind of like, all right, yeah, that happened. You just
Unless,
told
like,
me
the
that happened.
first 20 or 30
think-
minutes is Doom pulling up on Kangs or something.
I think y'all also expecting that this movie is supposed to do all of the heavy lifting for the story as a whole, where I think is going to be split up between the Doomsday and the Secret Wars. We're going to get some expose in Doomsday about the reasons why, and then we're going to actually learn more in Secret Wars. Okay, why does he look like Tony? What happened to Kang? Or what is all the shit that he did behind the scenes or anything like that. To be honest with you, I think they're going to go the time runs out method. Probably the first 2 acts is the heroes doing all of this shit, fighting the X-Men, trying to stop incursions, all that jazz. And then the third act is going to be Doom behind the scenes working with Clea, Doctor Strange, maybe Lady Loki, Sylvie, and doing all the shit behind the scenes, like what happened in the Secret Wars comic with Jonathan Hickman, where he was with Doctor Strange going around and he got the powers of the Beyonder, and in essence made Battle World. I think that's what they. I hope that's what they do. And
I still think them having Robert Downey. I feel having Doom look like Robert Downey Jr. is still some BS to me though.
I don't like him at all.
I just feel like
is there any story that would
Just casting
that would sway you?
no.
Otherwise,
If it was a totally different actor,
because
I think I would've
because
been
it's
fine
like
with it.
because having Doom look like Robert Downey Jr. is going to do what to the core main Avengers? It's not going to have really that much impact on somebody like Yelena or this new lineup we have. It's like, okay, he looks like Iron Man, but we know the heroes know that these are incursions. You're going to have people that look like you in other universes. Like having Doom look like Robert Downey Jr. is the only person that's going to have an emotional impact on. Really, will probably be Thor and Spider Man and Cap.
Steve too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, Thor, and Tom Holland Spider Man. Everybody
Probably
else would be
Sam,
like,
probably
oh
Hulk,
shit.
too.
Yeah, but Sam wasn't that close to him. Hulk, this is the best we've seen Hulk looking. He's not even going to be in Doomsday. So it's like, what's the point
It's not
even
a
in doing
fact of how close they are to them. Like, we understand if it wasn't for Tony, half of all life in the universe wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah,
like,
but having
the
Doom
simple
look like him
fact-
doesn't really move the needle.
No, but I'm saying niggas didn't have to be buddy with Tony in order to understand how
impact,
important,
though.
how
Yeah, I get what you're
pivotal of a figure that he was to their universe specifically.
To see him doing some wild, you know what I get the point he's trying to say.
To
Like, you
understand who Tony was, the asshole that he was, to make a sacrifice that big, that's a reason why you had a lot of the niggas in the Avengers at his funeral. Cause nigga, this was a huge fucking. He had every single member dang there. He had Wakandas. He had.
I mean, they literally just fought the
Widows.
battle. It wasn't like, hey, this nigga Tony Stark died on a random Tuesday. Y'all niggas fly out here. They literally watched the nigga die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have to necessarily have, but they knew, hey, this
Yeah, but I'm
nigga,
saying
this
it's
nigga
still-
did some crazy shit.
Having Doom look
it is.
like Tony is just like it's just not. It just don't really like for the story because we know it's not Tony.
It's for me, it's an unnecessary piece to the story.
Yeah,
There's a lot more things you need to be hitting on, and adding that in doesn't really. It's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary add. Like, if you wanted Robert Downey back, you could have just brought him back as like another version of Tony, I guess.
yeah.
But having him come back as Doctor Doom, I think you're trying to hit on too many points that you don't even really need to hit on for real.
Wait, Nino, what you pre-rate before the movie comes out? What you think is going hit on?
I feel like I'm big on action and shit, but story wise, I think it's gonna be like a 7.5.
Overall,
Yeah.
overall movie wise,
Overall, movie wise, I give it like an 8.
8. All right.
Look at Rob trying to take notes.
All right, let's go. Row 6. I'm waiting on now to come back. Hey man, it's gonna be a good pod. It's gonna be a good pod. Pre-Christmas weekend, man.
It's hard to say like without knowing actually what direction it's
Just
going
a pre,
into the story.
just a pre. Whatever feeling, whatever
I'm
comes to your
probably
heart.
am with Nino. I think that I can see it being like an 8. That's what I think. I think it could be an 8. That number could go up and that number can go down. though. It all
Yeah.
depends on that story.
Rob, what you got, a 10?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
10, bro.
Not at all.
You got a 9.8.
Rose, let me ask you this real quick too.
Nah.
What's up?
Because I'm the only one that feel this way, so I'm trying to see if I'm still the only one. I hate that voice with Victor Von Doom.
You hate
voice.
it?
I hate that voice.
I think it's good. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
already clean.
I hate that voice.
It's okay.
It sounds like a
It's
Cartoon
okay.
Network, Eastern Europe, Dexter's Laboratory, when they try to do a parody of an Eastern European voice, and I don't understand how nobody else see this.
I think he just sound like Whiplash from Iron Man 2.
Yeah, but
He just sound like a Russian nigga.
he was trying too hard to sound Russian.
Oh, that's crazy.
Trying too
Thank
hard.
you, bro.
Like, play it cool, bro. Play it cool. Be
It's
cool.
like, all right. Every
scared?
time I hear it, I'm like, okay, did we get in this? Okay, I guess.
P.
I'm trying to lock in on the story, and I'm gonna have to hear this voice that he forcing.
yeah, he
the
forced it a
whole-
little bit too much. Like, keep it P, keep it cool. You ain't gotta force that part.
Don't feel natural at all.
I'm clipping this whole up. And if
Oh, you
any
you not
niggas
even if I
is-
love the movie, I promise you, I promise you,
Your
my
stance still gonna be
stance
the
on that
same?
voice is not
Man,
changing.
Not Nile in December. Man, I get his joint a 9. It would have been a 9.5, but that nigga RDJ annoyed the
Voice,
fuck out
yup.
of me, nigga.
Honestly, it might. I could probably guarantee that 0.5 drop down. If
It'll
it
be
is
because of
one,
his voice.
it's coming because of that voice. I can already tell you
Nigga
that.
might make it a whole point. Nah, matter of fact, 8.5.
Depend on how bad the delivery is. Now, if the story come together and he calmed down a little bit, then I might be a little bit more gracious. But no, if he bugging with it throughout the film, oh yeah, that might be a whole point right there.
All right. We had a couple other things. I don't know if y'all want to go through them real quick, but if not, we can end it off here. Unless y'all have something else.
Oh, man, talk about that Blade shit real quick though.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Talk about that bullshit.
I'm dead.
If
I'm
you
gonna hop
ha-
off y'all. But
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Thank you,
Rose,
for
thank
bro.
you so
Appreciate
much
Rose
for
again.
coming through. We gonna have you back for the Doomsday one. All
of
the
course,
peanuts.
of course. So when my 6 comes to reality, I can come back.
There we go.
Hey, we
appreciate
appreciate
you.
Rose as always. Hey, make sure y'all tap into Phantom Nerds on all platforms, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure, man.
Y'all stay up out here.
Appreciate it too.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Dang, I hate this chair. I
All
gotta get
right.
another
So you
chair.
said what we doing? Oh, should we? I don't know if we should do the Hall H thing too. Just
Yeah, we
knock
can do
it out
that.
real quick.
Okay.
Which one you want to start with though? Do we want to get into the Blade part, or do we want to start a little lighter with the Hall H?
Yeah.
Let's start with Hall H.
All right.
Hall H. All right. If you haven't been tapped in, Hall H happened probably like a week or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Marvel has debuted some new projects that they got in the works. One of them being Ryan Gosling has been cast as the new Ghost Rider. New movie directed by Sean Levy set to release sometime in 2028. It supposedly will be the first film after Secret Wars. How are y'all liking that casting?
I'm cool with it. I just don't want the rumor that I heard. I really hope this isn't true. So the rumor that I heard was that the character, like this version of the character, would take inspiration from all 3 iterations of the Ghost Rider. I think that this character needs to be specifically Johnny Blaze?
Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, it needs to be the Johnny Blaze version. As long as it's that, I'm cool with the casting. I think it's all right. Little older than I wanted, but the fact that we have multiple iterations of Ghost Rider, it's really not the end of the world.
I feel like Ghost Rider is one of them characters where you can have be older and it not really impact that too bad. Especially Ryan Gosling. That nigga kind of looks pretty young for his age.
Did y'all see Project Hail Mary?
No, I heard great things about it though.
It was a good film. It was really only just Ryan Gosling. The other supporting cast was pretty decent. I liked the movie, but I'm like, seeing him as Ghost Rider, I think that'll be pretty decent. That'll be cool for real. Yeah.
Sean Levy also is the same person that directed the Deadpools.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was all the Deadpools. I know he did Deadpool and Wolverine. So I guess Robert Reynolds has been taking some time with Deadpool 3. Wait, is it 3 or 4?
I think it's 4.
4. I'm assuming because of Doomsday and Secret Wars is around the corner, so Sean Levy, they tapped it Sean Levy for this. So super interested in that. I'm actually pretty excited. Ryan Gosling has been on a hell of a run right now.
I'm really interested to see that too, because he is the one director that, like, we've seen. Okay, so we saw some successes early on with DDC. We've seen successes with Ryan Coogler. You know, a big thing with me is, I think, especially when we, a big heavy part of what we've been talking about is the idea of story. I think a big thing is these directors who work, we have to try to get them more fit in around different product or IPs and different projects within the MCU. So Deadpool, whether whether we like it or not, whether no matter what anybody's personal opinion is, Deadpool versus Wolverine was a success. So giving him this opportunity to try with something that would not have necessarily any more to come up the same level of humor that Deadpool and Wolverine had, what does that look like? And if it is something that's successful, it'd be very nice to be able to add him in that roster along with DDC and Ryan Coogler.
Funny enough, I think he's the only director to ever have directed a rated R MCU film since Kevin Feige took over, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the only rated R MCU film, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deadpool,
Yeah.
Wolverine. So that's probably another reason why they wanted to do it. Hopefully they keep Ghost Rider rated R. Some rumors on that. Supposedly Mephisto was going to be playing a role in that, not the main villain, but Sacha Baron Cohen was going to come back to reprise his role. And then there was a rumor about Lady Love interest that might be casted in there as well. They still haven't, I don't believe they got the script or got the cast down yet. So that's still in the works. And a lot of people were kind of upset with Marvel. Like, this sounds like Blade 2.0. Hopefully it's not. Nonetheless, we got David Johnson as well. Most known recently for his work on The Long Walk, Alien Romulus, and more. Being set to play the new T'Challa in Black Panther 3, set to release December 15th, 2028, the second film after Secret Wars. How y'all liking that? Great actor.
That's my thing. Is he is a really, really good actor. Like in terms of but in terms of the makeup of him as a T'Challa, I'm just used to T'Challa being
Nigga
like
switched it.
yeah, I know. I was like, caught it before, still paused it and changed the word out. But you know, when I think of T'Challa, I do think of like almost like a Usain Bolt human being.
Yeah.
Like he is a like just look like an athlete. Just looks like an athlete. Looks like a peak athlete.
Who?
T'Challa. Like the comic book character T'Challa.
Oh.
Yeah. No, not the actor. That's what I'm critiquing. That's what I'm critiquing right now, bro.
Oh.
I got you. The actor who they chose, the only thing that is a little concerning is he is a rather small fellow, and he doesn't match that build that I'm personally used to.
He is playing his son though.
Yeah, that's where I
T'Challa-
think it might
T'Challa
save
too.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's times where you don't necessarily look like your parent does. You know, you don't match all of the same physical standards that your parent did.
Ron and Bronny type shit.
Right. So I think that part will save it a little bit, but that's gonna take a little bit to get used to. But he is a really good actor. Everything that I've seen him in so far, he has done a really good job.
Yeah, Alien Romulus, he probably knocked it out the park. Long Walk
was the same thing, dude. It
Long
was
Walk too.
crazy. I was like, wow. You tell he had a supporting role, but you know how when an actor does so well that they almost you
think
can't
he's the
really
main
call him a
character.
supporter. Yeah. He was. That's how I felt
He stole
about
the
him in
show type
Long
of thing.
Walk. Yeah.
If you put him side by side to Chadwick Boseman, he kind of has similarities to how he looks to Chadwick Boseman too.
No,
which
he
is
don't.
crazy. He does. I promise you.
He don't. I've seen the photos.
promise you.
I've seen them. He don't look shit like Chadwick Boseman.
But it's a movie, so it won't matter. It doesn't matter anymore.
My thing was too, Niall. It was like, yo, if we going for Black Panther, you need somebody that's gonna be the king, somebody regal. It's like, is this gonna play into the story? Like, he don't look like no king. He don't look like this and this. But also, what is that gonna do to Shuri and M'Baku? Because the nigga's 33. They're not gonna age them up 20 something years.
I know. I don't know.
That's why I was like, just recast T'Challa 1 and then move on from there. But having it be his son after the reboot, it's like, okay, how?
They're gonna give Shuri and M'Baku just gray hair. They're gonna look exactly the same. Shuri's
Because,
gonna look
bruh,
younger
when we was
than.
introduced to him, he looked like he was like 5 or 6. So
Yeah.
from 5 to 6 to being played by the 33-year-old man, it's like, yo, like what was the
Yo, and I
turn
think he's literally younger than Shuri. So it's like them throwing gray hairs on Shuri and being like, Auntie, I don't.
How I think they can do this is some of the people that were supposed to survive the incursion, the final incursion in Doomsday, they're going to be hiding out in the quantum realm. And I think just how they did the time displacement from, I can't remember her name, but the mother of Wasp, where she was still around the same age, even though she was gone for quite some time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if they're hiding in the quantum realm, then Shuri and M'Baku could be on that raft, chilling in the quantum realm, and then they could age up. Years could have passed, and fucking what's it called in Battle World, and then they come back to Ant-Man way somebody hit the wrong button or somebody tapped in and figured out this was all a lie and then brought them niggas back and then boom. Now you got Shuri and Baku same age, but now you got a T'Challa that's a lot older, been through a whole lot of shit. Hopefully he's the god of the dead too, or not the god, but the what is it, King of the Dead? Yeah, King of the Dead. So on and so forth. So
I'm
they
not
got a
gonna lie
couple
to
ways.
you though. This going, I don't know. I'm probably gonna rub some people the wrong way with this next one, but this honestly, story wise, when I think about like how Black Panther is gone, it would not necessarily be a bad idea, even from a story perspective, to kill both of them off. I don't think that that's gonna happen. I don't think that even Marvel thinks that that's the best
I don't think
decision.
Coogler's gonna allow
But
that.
like, you got to think about like with Shuri, the idea like she lost her brother, she lost her mother, she's had to take on this role. She having a showcasing, like a final showcasing that really shows like you really were that you really were essentially, even though it was not by design, you acted like a king of Wakanda or a queen in this case, or whatever the case may be. But she acted like that. She acted like what the Black Panther is supposed to be in a final moment. And then M'Baku kind of being a part of that as somebody who was always against T'Challa and kind of always gave his family a hard time, for him to be in the end the one to be like the right hand to Shuri in that moment, in those final moments, and conclude both of those characters and then just have a vacant throne. And that's what Black Panther 3 is around, is this older T'Challa having to prove himself, not looking like his father, not, measuring up the same as his father did, and him not being known. We still don't even know if he's been known to Wakanda at this point. Unless Doomsday or Avengers were to answer that, it's almost like how Michael B. Jordan's character was, in the sense that Wakanda doesn't know about him. And to have him have to come in, prove himself, and take up the vacancy, is that too much like Black Panther 1 though? I can see the argument for that.
I just think recasting him would have been easier for the story, because it's like we didn't even get genius level T'Challa in Black Panther 1.
No.
We didn't get how he was using resources, how he would allocate resources throughout Wakanda. It's like, okay, they open up the borders to, in Black Panther 1, they open up the borders to the world, to Wakanda. Then you see him in other movies, and I think the biggest, in my opinion, I think the biggest disservice they did to the Black Panther was like having him being snapped away in Infinity War, because I'm like, that would have been a great time to have us fall in love with a few other new characters in Marvel, because we had the same Avengers and we getting them again too. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, if we had Black Panther, maybe somebody else that was new that we could introduce into these new Avengers movies coming up, that would have been better. But having it go through his son, now we still messing with timeline bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Which this kind of goes into what we were going to talk about next too. They need to do a better job at elevating and being comfortable with elevating Black characters. Just as straight as I could put it. The reason why I say that is they dropped the ball with Blade, but Blade is a character in the comic books, and even outside of the comic books, that's more or less loved by like the majority of fans. It's somebody who can command a movie. It can command just whatever Marvel needs that character to do, in the same way that some of your heavy hitters can. And T'Challa is very much similar to that. I don't normally hear a lot of hate towards T'Challa in the comics. Most of the criticism that I see around T'Challa, whether it's white, black, whatever, is they wish that the stories in the comics were stronger, which I also agree with. That's the most that I ever hear negative around Black Panther comics and T'Challa. So the idea of them not doing what you just said, Nino, I think it speaks to a larger failure by Marvel. And it's like, for whatever reason, I don't know whether they just don't want to see, like a black man in this case in an elevated state like that, or if it's just, I don't know what the reason is for it. But you have You dropped the ball with Blade, who could do that. You dropped the ball with T'Challa, who can do that. You know, we on this podcast have talked about like, oh, yo, Marvel should introduce Blue Marvel. To be honest with you, I love that idea, but at the way that Marvel has handled these black male characters in their universe up until this current moment, I kind of hope that they do hold off on anything like that because I just don't think that it would be shown correctly. I don't think that they would use the character well enough. And Blue Marvel is another character that I would say, even though it's a newer character, kind of fits into that realm where most fans that have learned or read the Blue Marvel comics or, you know, learned about it from a comics explain or something like that, they like the character, white, black, whatever. You know, Miles Morales is another one that we always talk about. If Marvel can't understand that, if they can't be comfortable with these characters being in these roles, it makes me nervous about if they introduce more.
And I think I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I think when they get black characters and characters of color, they try to integrate too much of the culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you focus on the culture, you're not focusing on the story. Like they faced backlash, I think it was last year when they had Miles Morales in Wakanda. Like I forgot what it was. They had graffiti on the walls in Wakanda and sneakers hanging on light poles.
Yeah,
And it's like
come on.
shit like that don't have to be anywhere in the comic to advance the story. Now imagine Spider-Man Brand New Day. What's Peter Parker's heritage? Do we know? What about the Punisher? No. But if this was a black movie, Punisher would have been at the bottom of a barber shop.
Right.
His hideout would have been some black shit. Peter would have been with his cousins and shit. It'd been like it's like, yo, y'all doing too much. We're not a monolith. You have to know this. We need something that's gonna drive the story. And that's when we get into this Blade shit. Because if they had Blade set in the time of slavery,
Come on, bro.
But that's the thing, though. Marvel didn't pitch that.
I know, yeah, no, I know Marvel didn't.
Mahershala Ali allegedly pitched that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. It's this thing I learned in school, and it's like people who are been in marginalized places tend to take on the oppressive behaviors that put you in the marginalized place as it is. Mahershala Ali recommending that reminds me a lot of that, bro. We gotta move past thinking like that. There's more ways that we can be utilized than the ways that Hollywood has utilized us thus far. And most of those ways have been ways that have been unfavorable. And it's okay to look at us and say, we want to have you in a favorable position. We want to have you in a position of leadership. We want to have you in a position of a solid standing. Like, that's why, honestly, that's part of the reason why I think Captain America, Sam Wilson fails so much, because it's too much of a precedent on him being a black man taking on the role. I understand that there even in our real world that is a reality for the character. But I think if you spoke more to this character's strength as opposed to weaknesses or vulnerabilities that character could face, it'd be a lot easier for more people to like that character. And that's what happened with Sam Wilson.
I can understand it more with Sam Wilson because of what America is.
I
And
hear
especially
that.
Isaiah Bradley as well. Once you add that element, then I could completely understand why they went that route. With Blade, it makes absolutely
No sense.
No
And I
sense.
do, even though I do get it with Sam Wilson. That's the last point I'll say on that. But even though I do understand it with Sam Wilson, bro, what difference is that between anything else that any one of us have to face on a daily basis, and how it's still more things that define us besides just those instances where we got to go through things that are a reflection of the America of today. We still do various things that put us in a light where people can respect us, where people can appreciate us. I do it at work all the time. I do it whenever I'm around my people or in a community or even around other people that's not necessarily my people. I represent myself in a way where the last thing that you necessarily want to be talking about is, oh, Nile black. You going to say, okay, Nile steps up in times of turmoil, or Nile can be a leader, or Nile can think empathetically about the people throughout the world, or Nile. Like, it's a bunch of different things that you're going to say about me before, oh, you know, Nile is a black man that has experienced racism. That's why it's like, You know,
I think they never really got into that in the movie either. I think it was more so in the show.
both though it was a continuation of it because it also spoke to his vulnerability. Like this idea of him not taking a super serum, it's still this idea of you painting the character where with the emphasization, if that's a word, of the character's vulnerabilities. And that's the problem. It's like when it's content that's created and crafted around black men, it does not have to be that we always focus on their vulnerabilities. That was even in a movie, the idea of him not taking a super serum and facing these threats and the doubt. That's focusing too much on his vulnerabilities. Where if you made him look like a captain, if you made him look like a Captain America, there's a possibility that fans could have had a better appreciation, not just of the movie, but also of the character.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Just to give some pushback, and I want to preface this, where do I think that the MCU has a problem with black representation? Not necessarily. Do I think that they can improve a lot in their black representation specifically? Yes, 100%. I say that because when I look at a project like Blade, they put so much money behind this to the point where they already had costumes for this shit that Sinners ended up repurposing for their movie type of thing. They got multiple directors. They got a plethora of writers. At some point in time, Bo DeMaio wrote a potential script for this, or worked on a potential script for this. Ryan Coogler potentially worked on a script for this, so on and so forth. Multiple directors were in flux and everything like that. So it's not like Marvel didn't put the money behind it. It just never is the right word, metastasized. I don't know if that's the right word.
No, that means like
Materialized.
Materialized. There we go. Thank you. It never fully materialized, and that could be just because of the person or the actor Mahershala Ali is. Like, at that point in time, he just got off of like winning the Oscar.
What's his name? Lee. What's his name? That's what he came up under. Was the Lee Daniels kind of?
Lee Daniels?
Yeah, that whole thing. So I can see your point to that.
Where I think he wanted a lot more control, and that control that he was trying to, because supposedly reports were saying that he wanted this Blade movie to be his Black Panther. And if you know anything about the comics and the differences between Blade and Black Panther, I don't even think they speak on this nigga being black in the Blade comics.
Not really.
Nah.
Now, that's something that obviously they probably should have touched on at some point in time, but it never was anything super serious. So the fact that Ali was of this mindset already started Blade at a negative spot, I think, personally. And in trying to rectify that and trying to, knowing what Mahershala Ali wanted out of this movie and trying to get it to that point instead of just making a vampire killing flick that a lot of people will like with a good story.
Because you can almost guarantee the box office success in that.
You're just not going to be able to hit it. Now, again, this is not to say that the MCU has done an impeccable job with all the black characters. Could they have done better writing a better script for Sam Wilson? Yes. Could they have done better marketing for Wonder Man or Ironheart? Yes. Eyes of Wakanda, possibly. Yes. I do understand that, but I also want everybody to put in the nuance of the situation and culminate that into your decision making on if Marvel is letting down black people. Because we got to keep in mind, Marvel has already decided to downsize a lot of their fucking shows. A lot of people were upset. Oh, how Wonder Man was critically acclaimed. Like, how could you do this? Well, easy. Because we're not getting as much money from Disney Plus as we are from the movies. And if you love Wonder Man so much, come to the movies and support with your wallet. Which is probably the thinking that in which they're
not gonna get no movie.
But that's the exact. That's
he's
the point
not
that I
gonna
was
get
gonna
a
make.
singular movie, no. But he can be a pivotal piece in a new Avengers. He can be a pivotal piece potentially in the X-Men. They have a couple of different ways that they could use him.
You're saying he could be a piece,
There's
and that's the thing. It's like
there.
Yeah, people liked Wonder Man, so it's like, you know what, I want to see this dude again. Even if it's like, okay, if I gotta wait till he get another show next year. A lot of people tuned in. But if you say, we're not gonna do these projects, I get that. They have way too much going on. They can say, you know what, we could possibly bring it back, but for right now, we're gonna focus on these movies, focus on other TV shows that coincide with this, and that we can have everything going together. But you can't be like, well, come to the theaters and support to see Wonder Man when he only gonna get 8 minutes of screen time
Yeah,
in a new
But
Avengers movie.
this is
exactly.
one of the main issues, though, with the black representation. We're saying all of this, but when it's time to actually support these characters, a lot of us was shitting on them. A lot of
But
niggas was shitting on Ironheart, and Ironheart wasn't a bad story.
I thought it was bad.
I don't think it was bad at all.
I was
I
still
didn't hate it.
Again, we
I wouldn't
are
say it
in
was a
the
strong
process
story, but I didn't hate it.
we are in the same fucking cinematic universe as Secret Invasion, Quantumania, fucking Thor: The Dark World, and fucking Love and Thunder. Like those are bad. And I just don't think Ironheart even got close to any of that ass.
It was,
that they
I would
released.
say that it was more in like a safe zone, but not an impressive
It was
zone.
if you want to give it mid, I completely understand that. I completely understand that. But at the same time, we can't as black people, we can't be complaining if we not showing up to Sam Wilson and supporting him regardless.
But
You
bro,
still
but
can't.
here's
If,
the
if,
thing.
if you do show up
We
to it
can-
and it's bad, you can still complain. Just
no,
because.
no.
Well,
We can't complain that they're ending these series if we don't show up.
But no,
We
the
can
thing is, I'm
complain
not
that
saying.
they're still not doing the greatest on the scripts and backing these people, but we can't complain if we not supporting them and being like, hey, Marvel, we need this shit.
all right, but let me ask you this.
We support on and on. We support him, but if I think Ironheart was bad, I'm not gonna watch the second season. But that don't mean just because Ironheart was bad, we got to cancel Wonder Man or cancel something else. We can't just group every single black show
Exactly.
together. We can't be like, oh well, they're canceling Ironheart and Wonder Man because black people are not showing up. Black people wasn't
And
the
that's
main
not
ones
even,
complaining.
and that's not even fair for Wonder Man, because for Wonder Man, all of us had it had a strong viewership, from my understanding, from everyone.
I don't
So
think
it's like if we see less of Wonder Man, if we were to see less of Wonder Man going forward, which is what I really do believe is going to end up being the case, what would be the justification for that if we did show up for Wonder Man?
they wouldn't necessarily have justification. That's why I think that they're not going that route. That's why I think that they're gonna be using him. Yahya Abdul Martin is too good of an actor to not use him. But what the shareholders can understand is we're not spending $200 million on a show where the next season we're gonna have to dive into his powers more. What does that mean? More money overall because we got to CGI all of this shit perfectly to fit into a show instead of just putting him in a group flick where now we can juggle multiple actors or multiple different characters plot and progress them forward as a singular unit instead of putting all our money in one show, putting all
Okay.
our money in another show, putting all our money in another show type of thing.
Let me go off of that, because I do understand that is a trend that Marvel is seeing analytically and the such, where the grouped appearances are having more success. If they aren't Spider-Man, they are having more success than the standalone films. So I get that, right? And let me go for a little bit further than that though. Even if Wonder Man is in a group, based off of the performance that he had in that season 1 of Wonder Man, he should be somebody who would have a leader or a relatively prominent role throughout the movie. And if they didn't do that, would that be justifiable?
It all depends, I guess, on the role. Just like you said when you
No.
brought up the long walk.
No.
Even though David Johnson was a secondary character, it was like how he was written. He was able to steal the show. He was able to basically co-lead.
I don't think that
I can understand if
Yahya
Yahya
and the character
Abdul-Mateen-
of Wonder Man deserves that though. That's part of the problem. if he did what he was supposed to do in season 1 of Wonder Man, which he did, he shouldn't be looked at if they do another team and they say we need to pivot him to a team. He shouldn't be looked at as a secondary character. He should be looked at as the primary character. Even if we just going off of analytics and if we are going off of reception and all of the metrics that we use to judge these things, there is a logical response that you should have that character at the forefront of whatever that IP or whatever it would be. There, it wouldn't be justifiable. You couldn't. Even under the metrics, you couldn't justify it.
I think it's one person, one character that would be justifiable to put over him in the West Coast Avengers. And the only person I could think of is Shang-Chi.
No.
That's the only person. Yes, because even despite that, Shang-Chi is known more so because a lot of people, again, even though it was a lot of critical acclaim for the people that did watch it, but a lot of people didn't watch it because they were tired of doing the homework and watching Marvel TV shows.
That's because a lot of them weren't good, though.
What we do know, exactly, but what we do know is that a lot of people spent their hard-earned money to go see Shang-Chi.
So the only reason why I would say I could see where you coming from with Shang-Chi is yes, he did actually have a movie, which is more people will have more familiarity with him. But and the other part is it all depends on what exactly Shang-Chi's presence is like in this Doomsday movie and Secret Wars movie. That's the only reason why I'm like kind of pulling back a little bit, and I can say, yeah, I can see that. But even with that, Yaya should not be far off.
He shouldn't
based off what happened, based off how well Wonder Man was. It just shouldn't be. And I honestly feel like there is a chance that he would have 8 minutes of screen time. And then if that were to happen, then it goes back to this original point of like, why? Why is it that we have this mishandling in Marvel with these black characters? Because there's no justification there. That's what I'm saying. Wonder Man gonna be the test. Wonder Man gonna be the test. Is it just that, like you said, the nuance and the complications to the entire studios, or is this something where it's like, no, this is a head scratcher? Wonder Man is gonna be the test for that.
I don't think,
and
that's
they already failing it. I think so.
I don't think so, because I mean, again, initially they said, "Hey, green light the season 2." So much so that they already had the writers writing on it, but then they understood we're getting too high off the supply. We got to tone it down. It's a reason why Star Wars is failing right now, because they kept dropping shows back to back to back.
But to Niall's point, when you have a show that's acclaimed and you have the actor getting nominated for an Emmy, that's not the one you say, yeah, we're gonna cancel that one.
Exactly.
You cancel some shit like some Hawkeye shit or the next Echo season. If we got Daredevil seasons 1 and 2, then we got Daredevil Born Again back to back to back to back. It's like, okay, we could do the TV, but you can have Wonder Man there if he's the one that's been getting you all like, people like, you know what? Out of all the shit we tuned in for Marvel TV, Wonder Man is up there with some of the stuff that really took me by surprise and was actually good. And a lot of people say that. But then when it's like, we've gone greenlight season 2, everybody's like, cool, let's see what they're gonna do with that. So then, yeah, let's cancel it. It's like, okay, they have no faith moving forward in this character.
That doesn't necessarily do
but
that.
But from what we've seen at Comic-Con for Hall H, we've seen Ghost Rider, we've seen Black Panther, we've seen Avengers. Now I know they don't want to show their whole hand. I get that. But there was no mention of Wonder Man.
Yeah, because I think that they're just trying to minimize all of this shit. And by minimizing, they're going to be able to utilize all these characters. I think they were resoundingly happy about what Wonder Man brought. I think that they were so happy that they think that, hey, if people are willing to, despite all of the things we've heard about Disney shows as of recently, Marvel shows specifically as of recently, people tapped in and actually enjoyed this content because of Yahya Abdul-Mateen and then Sir Ben Kingsley, then we got gold. We struck gold with this character specifically. So why would we relegate him to a platform where we're not going to get as much of a return as we would if we use them in a movie.
Because
I
people
understand that
people
thinking,
saw
but
Shang-Chi and you say, yo, like people spent their hard-earned money to see Shang-Chi. We haven't seen him in 5 years. So okay, they watch Wonder Man. That don't mean they're gonna have plans for him, but
Yeah,
they
but
yes,
that's
what I
exiting
think.
out a whole lot of nuance between that though.
So you
That's
s-
exiting
okay?
out
So
that's
so
exiting
you
out a global pandemic. That's exiting out
okay?
writer strikes,
But here's the
actor
thing.
strikes. That's exiting out a whole lot of things that also impacted why we haven't seen Shang-Chi.
No,
Shang-Chi,
we could have seen
listen,
Shang-Chi if they had all these other shows outside that Marvel been working on. They could have said, you know what, Shang-Chi, people like the character. We have to do a Shang-Chi too. They did an
but
Ant-Man 3.
this is why they're making the changes now, though, is what I'm saying. They couldn't make a Shang-Chi 2 because they were too focused on creating multiple TV shows. Multiple TV shows of characters, nobody in stories that they just didn't put their all into. That's why I'm saying they're
So the
making
only
this change
okay.
now.
So my point is this though. In the critique that we gave in regards to black characters, this is why I referred to Wonder Man as being the litmus test because you do not have all of these scapegoats or excuses or nuances or whatever you want to call
When
it
you make the changes,
when you make the changes. So if we don't see
then y'all
Wonder
got it.
Man,
Y'all got it. Y'all was right. And again, I prefaced it where I say Marvel does, at some form or fashion, have an issue where they need to be able to, I don't know, get more black writers, somebody that actually understands black people, understand
I
they're
don't
not a
think that's I don't think
monolith, they're
that's the
not
thing
a.
that's going to work.
It's not
they
the thing
just
that's
need
gonna work,
good
but they're gonna be
stories,
able.
and
They're,
you don't
yeah,
gotta
good stories.
you don't gotta go into we don't always have
Because,
to go into tragedy, pain, or
but I'm
something
saying because
overly cultural.
exactly because when you look at the first Blade movies, they were written by David S. Goyer, who wrote Man of Steel. It's like they didn't go and say we need somebody black for this. You can't just say okay we need because then you
Right.
go for black. Do you need color? You need it's culture. Can't say I need somebody black. Wonder Man is Haitian. You need somebody who's going to be a Haitian writer or a Haitian director to understand that more. Ryan Coogler's from the West Coast, but he's directing a movie about a mythical
African,
African
yeah.
land. So it's like it's not about just black. We need the best writers possible. If that
Right.
is an Asian writer, if that is a Hispanic writer or white writer, we need them on the project. Not somebody that's I'm gonna give you this opportunity because you black. It's like, well, you need the best possible person for this story.
I personally fear, and this is out of the ordinary. I personally fear other races of people, not people of color, writing black characters, because I fear the same shit that we got with who's the nigga from Superman,
Oh,
Mr. Terrific?
Mr.
Mr.
Terrific.
Terrific. I fear that's what we'll get from black characters.
We're not. We're not.
If
Because
the
That's
writer got
if you
integrity,
think no, hold on real quick. Because if you think we need somebody black to write this, do you think?
I don't think we need somebody black. I just think black writers understand black characters, understand how to write a black character.
But every black
It doesn't necessarily mean that being black is just their main plot point, main sticking point.
But that's
They
what it
just know
sounds like
better
because every
how
black.
to operate.
But like we just said, when you write Blade, it doesn't necessarily have to be a black writer to understand who Blade is. He's a vampire slayer. That's first and foremost. He's the Daywalker vampire slayer who is a black man. So when you say I need someone black to write him because he understands black people, it's like that's not
That's
part
not
of
the- right,
Blade's
the-
story.
Yup.
When you
Yeah.
talk when you mention somebody like a Blue Marvel, okay, cool. When you mention somebody like Black Panther, okay, yes, I can understand that. But when you start getting into like let's say a John Stewart, we don't need a black writer to be writing a John Stewart movie. It's like John Stewart's a Green Lantern. He's an architect. He's a Marine. It's like there's other things to him besides that where they don't have to sit there and be like, well, we got to get this black culture stuff down right because it's just gonna be different.
who
And
the
I
mutant with the M? Who the mutant with the M on his face?
Bishop, who's not even black, he's Aboriginal, and niggas get that fucked up.
Like if you took Bishop and said you had to do an Aboriginal story when the predicate like when the whole thing around his story is the displacement and the future and it's like 8 different elements before the idea of him being an Aboriginal. Why you don't need to, you just need somebody who could tell a great story about Bishop.
Because and then that kind of puts black writers in a box because it's like when we get Spider-Man or Superman or like Batman, Do we know his background? I believe Batman is English and Scottish, right? But they don't put those different cultural things in a Bruce Wayne Batman movie because they're not
Right.
important. They don't mention Spider-Man being Irish because it's not
Right.
important. They don't mention that in these movies and things. Like we've never seen Tobey Maguire Spider-Man do anything culturally significant.
Right.
You know what? He's a New Yorker. Bam. That's it. Let's get on
That's
with the
it.
story. So it's like
Oh
it-
yeah,
it-
you just need it's multicultural integrity and multiculturalism in the form of story writing. That's it. That's fine, and that's fine. What that means is I'm not going to do anything to degrade or neglect that person's culture as it applies to the character. But if there is not any, I will also have enough integrity to just tell a cohesive story around that character.
and you think about this. Black Panther had all black cast. Michael B. Jordan said they had all black staff, but one of the elements in the music, well, in the movie, was the music by Ludwig, who's white. You didn't need someone from Africa. You didn't need a black person doing the score. So it's possible because then it goes to show someone writing the movie, they have to do their due diligence in understanding the culture if that's part of what they have to do. Because if that's the case, how many rappers do we know have black mafia family or they talk about, oh, I'm the next El Pablo, this and this. It's like you do all this Mexican, all this Italian stuff. Somebody black could write an Italian mafia movie.
Yeah.
You
No,
see what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that black people specifically have to write black characters. I'm just thinking when I'm thinking of Mr. Terrific, I'm thinking of a white person who thought what a black person acts like and what his quick one-liners and everything like that. And that's what I fear for
Yeah, you
probably
just
white
don't need to
writers.
hire
from-
that
I,
guy.
I don't want the stereotypical. That's why I said black people probably understand it because it comes off as a lot more normal. It comes off as the things that y'all were
Yeah,
saying.
but see,
We're not
that's
just
the reason
black.
why
We're
we
also
get- that's one of the reasons though, bro. Why like I'm so, like I just have no faith in James Gunn the more that I go with the whole DC thing because having the thought that that is how a black character should be portrayed.
One of
Also,
the
a little
smartest.
fun fact. I'm not gonna bring it up in too much detail here, but look up the background on James Gunn's family and his surname. Get a little second.
Yeah, but real quick,
Give me a
to
little
Niles'
second.
point, but to Robert and Niles' point, it's also different because you have James Gunn, we get his humor, but when you're talking about as a black man, the actor that portrayed Mr. Terrific is Kenyan. So there's differences in black men. That's how he thought Mr.
Yeah.
Terrific would sound. That's also how he thought Mr. Terrific would act. As a black, as
But
me,
you don't.
as a,
But
me,
that's the other
I'm
part
saying
about
me
it
as
is
African.
the integrity. If
Exactly.
you have integrity for that character, and if you have integrity for if the moment that if you a white director or a white writer, and the moment that you know a black character is coming into frame, and then you happen to go along the lines of what you stereotypically believe that black character should be or sound like or etc., then you are doing a disjustice to the overall nuances that that can exist with a black man. But if to the point like D said with Blade, with the character with the writer director for Blade, not a black person per se, but they had enough integrity to just say, well, we could just tell a story that involves a black man. That's just a good story that people can enjoy and connect to without having these stereotypical changes. And it's an integrity thing. Like they had the integrity to just say, we're okay with showcasing Blade as a regular dude because in real life, I look at him as being a regular dude. I have enough integrity to be able to just look at him for like look at whether it's Wesley Snipes, whether it's the character of Blade. I have enough integrity to just say, hey, I could just make a good story about this dude. This is a cool dude. He is athletic. He can fight. He know kung fu. Let's turn it up. We're just gonna make a great story around this guy. It's just the integrity of the writer. I mean, and that comes down to like the production team and everyone else. They just gotta choose good people that's good at telling good stories for whatever that character is.
and I could believe I misspoke. You don't necessarily need a black writer, but you need to have, like Niall was saying, an overarching idea of what it means to not be a stereotypical black man on the screen, but let it be like this is fluent. Again, we're just normal people just like everybody else. Our skin is just different. We have our unique ticks and how a black man acts in comparison to a white man. They're just not the same. Unless they grew up in the same area.
But there
Some
are
instances,
exactly. Yeah, there are
there's
instances
unique
where it
differences where we teeter a line between stereotypical and just natural behavior. You feel
Right.
me? And that's the issue that I might have. But nonetheless, this is all over the point. I think for this Blade thing, I think it was a mixture of both parties. At all, I think Mahershala Ali could have been difficult at times in order to get this taken care of. And I think Marvel could have been difficult at times too. I'm pretty sure.
I'm
they
gonna be
were
honest
difficult
with
at
you.
times.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If this whole thing with Mahershala Ali and wanted it to be set in slave times and etc. Is real, like that's all legit, and that's really what was going on, I really don't even know if I put any of that on Marvel. That's the one instance where I'm
it
like,
has to be real because Sinners bought those costumes, and
Yeah,
it was
bro, that's-
period piece costumes.
and that's like legit. That happened, right?
yeah.
Yeah, bro.
They had a
I don't
warehouse
think-
full of
I
these
think Marvel
costumes.
said Mahershala Ali trying to get us in hot water.
I'm
We
pretty
not-
sure.
That's what I was saying, because I'm like, yo, if you said it in that piece, it's like, okay, now what's the dialogue gonna be having you in that time period slaying like what
Yeah, bro.
how you gonna have us looking?
Supposedly it was
Right.
supposed to be like a couple of cults, all of that jazz, and probably interweaving the slavery aspect with occults of like white vampires versus like black vampires, so on and so forth. I don't necessarily know. There was no way in God's green earth that I'd be able to wrap my mind around a vampire.
It would have ruined Blade.
But the crazy thing is, I was thinking about this earlier. We say that now, but then we went to Sinners and we actually enjoyed that film.
nah,
But
but
it's-
Sinners.
Again, it is different though. It's not.
Yeah,
Blade.
Sinners isn't Blade. Sinners was set in that time for something tonally different. Like we see them in the cotton fields doing that, but Blade in himself is a day walking vampire. So there's black vampires, white vampires. It's like what we got from Sinners was different, just thematically.
From what I can understand, vampires didn't really do that whole race thing. It was either you was a part of my group, you was a part of this occult, or
Right.
you was one of them other niggas, type
Yeah.
of thing. So, I don't know. That's the joint where I kind of hung up on. I was like, I can blame Marvel, but Mahershala Ali is a little crazy for thinking that
Yeah,
he
he
can make
bugging out.
Blade
I don't
his
even-
Black
I don't
Panther
even know
instead
if
of
I'm
just being the
putting the
best Blade
blame.
that he could be.
Well, let me
'Cause
ask
that's-
you this: what is the blame? If this is real, what is the blame on Marvel then?
I think it's because they didn't put their foot down. I think they were kind of intimidated by Mahershala Ali, and rightfully so. He just got off of winning, I think, 2 Oscars at the time when they announced this shit. They were super excited. They didn't have a plan in place, and they announced it too soon without having that plan in place. And then we see the domino effect of not having that plan in place. If
They
they had
got
a plan
scared.
in place, yeah, because supposedly Mahershala Ali came to them and was
Yeah,
like,
they
I'm going
got
to do this Blade. So
they
they
got
probably got
scary.
giddy. Oh, we got Mahershala Ali. This is a 2-time Oscar winner. He's one of the best actors right now. Hey man, just announce
bruh.
it. Come up with a nice fucking title screen. Announce it for fucking one of these Comic Cons and everything, and it'll just work out. And it didn't.
He was coming into them board meetings dressed like that picture right there. They got scary. instead of putting their foot down.
Nigga
Saying,
said,
"Listen
I don't
here."
want this.
Because you see
We
what
ain't
happened
doing
with
that.
I forgot the name of the show, but Orlando Jones when he played Anansi, and he was like
Ooh.
he played Anansi. He was talking to the slaves on the boat before coming to America,
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
like American Gods or something. I think
Yes,
think so,
yes,
yeah.
that's it.
So,
That's exactly it.
while the
He
show
a
was
Zizi
good-
or something.
he was Anansi. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
okay, he's working on dialogue, but they were like they fired him from the show because he wanted too much creative freedom. Same thing with Ed Norton, like. As the Hulk, okay, I'm doing my own research as an actor, but you need to go this route. I want to do this and this. That's when they're like, okay, look, like, this is what we have in place. We're not listening to one actor when we have God knows how many writers and
Right.
producers working on this. But when you, like Rob said, you get somebody with 2 Oscars on their belt and they're like, I'm going to do Blade. You're like, okay, let's work with this nigga. Like they said, Ryan Gosling went to Sean Levy and pitched it, the ghostwriter. They both went to Marvel. and they're like, "This is the story that we want to do," and this is, and they say Ryan Gosling has been following along with Marvel. He's like, "This is how this story fits within the universe you're doing right now." So like, he already came with a plan,
Correct.
how his story fits, and of course they go and tweak it. But he's like, "This is where you are in this Ghost Rider story, and I want to play the character." He didn't just say, "I want to play Blade," and bam. Because I mean, like Rob said, if they already have the set pieces and the costumes, it's like, all
They
right,
got pretty
Marvel,
far.
yeah, they were gonna do it,
Yeah.
but you got to realize, we like, nigga, we not trying to have this type of shit in Marvel.
Even
No.
despite the fact of them being like, hey, I don't know about this 1920s, 1930s Blade picture. Like, we could just, because Boda Mayo went on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, or his OnlyFans, I don't know, whichever one, and was like, hey, when I,
Yo, that was a crazy. That
Dead
was a
ass.
crazy second option.
Dead
I didn't
ass.
even peep it at first
Nah,
that you
'cause
said
he-
that though.
he used
it
his
had to sink
OnlyFans.
in, and I said, "Oh shoot."
he used his OnlyFans to talk about Marvel. So, in order to make people pay for it and everything like that, to get his understanding and his background on what happened, with his
Yeah,
with
that
his
was
deal with
crazy.
Marvel.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But supposedly it was
He's
like a
nuts.
raid type of movie where Blade was stuck in this building. This is the thing that Bo DeMeo wrote, where Blade was stuck in a building and different occults was in there, and the occult owned it or something like that. And the whole movie take place in this one night in this building, and Wesley Snipes was going floor to floor, killing vampires. Obviously, this is the bare bones version. It didn't go into fucking much detail. But nigga, that sounds fire for a Blade film.
Nigga, a raid version of Blade? Come on, bro. That shit would have hit a bill.
Nigga, easy.
Yeah.
With Mahershala Ali too.
That's that's what
It
Mahershala
woulda
Ali.
hit a
This
bill.
is true. That's what Mahershala Ali did not realize is that Blade.
You don't need that
Look,
much.
you don't gotta go crazy. Yeah, you
don't.
don't need a whole bunch to Blade. You just need Blade kicking ass. That's it. Like
Like when we
That's
all got
it.
first
It's a great
introduced to
movie.
Blade, when he first stepped on the scene, he was in a rave
Murking
in a
niggas.
black leather jacket. Yeah, like murking
Yep.
niggas for real. It's
Yep.
like, you didn't think, oh, it's a black dude. It's like, no, whoever this nigga is, he dangerous and he cold.
Do niggas even remember the stories from the
Yup.
Blade Wesley Snipes
No,
Blade movies?
no. I can't tell you. I can't tell you
No,
what
that-
motivation is. I just know he was killing vampires for 3 films.
Yep.
I just know
And it was great.
the one shawty turned into a vampire and he was trying to save her, the black shawty, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's the only little part of the story that I remember. Nobody
it.
knows about
Yeah.
this, cares about the story. Nigga, that action was
No.
fire. He was killing vampires and he was doing it in a real nigga way. And niggas gravitated
honestly
towards
the
that
one
shit.
time. Blade is one of those instances where, as much as I do love a good story, if it did not have a story to it, and Blade was just kicking ass for 2 hours and 30 minutes, I would come out of that movie on this podcast and be like 9 out of 10.
bruh.
Nine
It's
out
like
of 10 at
essentially,
least.
it could really be like
Y'all
a
see
kung.
what was going on.
It's like a kung fu movie. You don't care what's going on. You just know it's gonna be some good action, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Niggas-
don't gotta be too crazy on the story. Just give us some action.
Yeah, Blade don't gotta be.
That's
deep
why
at
I'm
all.
gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little with y'all telling me, you know, Niall, it's a really good chance that this idea that we've seen on the internet is true with Mahershala Ali. And y'all brought up a good point. If they had costumes ready for it for Sinners, then it likely was true. This is one where I could be a little bit more lenient on Marvel, because even though I do agree, Sage, they should have been a little bit more, you know,
Proactive.
no, this is what we gonna do. Yeah, like, yeah, just more proactive with
Instead
it.
of reactive on it.
I could be I could, you know, I could say, all right, this was they got a little intimidated and it got away from them, but it didn't get away from them because they didn't want to see this movie come into fruition. It got away from them because what they was rolling with, they realized at some point into it, oh no, this is absolutely insane. And I'd rather them stop something like that than say, okay, well, we've gotten this far, let's go ahead and continue it.
What I want to give y'all, because I heard about this recently. Jeff Snyder, he's a pretty good, reputable source. within the community who usually has like the behind the scenes look at Marvel, all that jazz. He has a podcast called The Hot Mic with John Roca, if I'm not mistaken, and they was talking about this, and he actually believes that this is just Marvel and Mahershala trying to give people the okie doke, and that instead of just doing a Blade movie, introduce him in the Midnight Suns type of thing and everything, and just have it be that way. And he thinks that Mahershala Ali, he was like, we might see him in fucking Secret Wars. They might just be playing this off right now or anything like that. And he was like, it's not like he's against doing the major box office prototypical hits, because the nigga just did Jurassic Park and made a boatload of fucking money. So he was like, in this thinking, how everything is set up, he's saying this, and this comes out the same week that fucking Wonder Man being canceled and everything like that. Mm-hmm. He believes that this is just the okie doke to have people get off the scent, and maybe he might show up in Secret Wars. Maybe he might show up in fucking Midnight Suns later on down the line after they do the Ghost Rider, or maybe he even shows up in the Ghost Rider film, and that's where the starts of the formations of the Midnight Suns comes from. So we can only imagine.
What I personally said to conclude it, right? Like when he gave, like I don't know whether it's here on the screen. Let me look a little bit further.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, what was up here? This that he said up here. If this is actually like verbatim his words, I don't know. I think there might be some bad blood between, especially if they rejected his script after going as far as they did. There could possibly be some bad blood between Mahershala Ali and Marvel.
I'm gonna give you the same thing that I told you when we didn't think Tony Stark was coming back. When that money talk, niggas get to walking.
I get that, but when you talking about somebody like Mahershala Ali, this is an African nigga, bro. Is he?
I don't know.
Because you say what, bro?
He's something.
Some people egos too large. We watch NBA niggas walk away from millions of dollars because they think they supposed to be the number one. And then when that money talk is like, we gonna pay you 4 years, $100 million.
That nigga's African American.
That's not good enough for me. He is.
Yes.
Who named this nigga?
He was born in Hayward, California.
Nah.
Yeah, bro. He got
with the
like
birth name Mahershala Ali Shabazz.
You know what I'm like?
Gilmore.
He's something. He's something.
Gilmore.
I think he's Muslim. They do have a new movie supposedly with one of the directors that was supposed to do Blade.
I saw it.
That movie Mother, if I'm not mistaken.
I just saw the trailer. I'm like, this looked like it could have been made, but not as no slave. It looked pretty good.
Not as no slave.
It looked good, but I'm like, by the time, what is he?
I don't understand why Mother couldn't be Blade.
We get Blade Unchained instead of Django.
Oh, God.
Oh, we got Leonardo DiCaprio dropping the N-word in the book. Like,
at 52, I don't see them being like, it's got to be somebody else. Trevante Rhodes.
Yeah, if they don't bring him back, I would wholeheartedly agree with them just recasting, getting somebody that's a lot less in money in comparison.
Yep.
So that it makes sense.
I think that works better for Midnight Suns too. You got to pay a lot of people. You don't.
Somebody was saying Damson
need the price tag.
Hell no.
I want
Damson. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be
so
mad
if you had to go Blade though. Let me ask you this:
Steven, y'all know who Stephen James is?
No.
The actor.
Look him up right now.
He could play Blade.
Oh, that one black dude that we were saying should be Black Panther.
How you spell? Is it Steven or
Phan?
PHA. What the?
Stephan James. My bad. He could play Blade. He's a good actor.
Oh, I can see that. And
okay.
From his name, I'm not
finding some hitters.
Yeah, from his name, I'm not too familiar with his work, but it seems like he might be. Oh, he was in War Machine.
Because we ain't see David Johnson being cast at all.
He could be money-wise. Yeah, that's probably because of the money, though.
Not only that part, but age-wise. If we doing this new crew, let's keep them around the same age. This guy is 32. The other guy is Black Panther is 32. Let's keep them around the same age so we can, we can keep them for a little bit because we know how when it come to, how it come to how we look as we get older. We look a little younger.
Niggas
It
probably
sticks
gonna do-
around a little longer.
Outside of Avengers movies, every character is probably going to have one iteration of their, every main character at least, one iteration of a movie in the course of 10 years. Outside of team-up movies type of thing.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I'm
imagine
assuming.
if you could double it up and do 20.
Yeah.
If they look still young enough to where it's like it's believable, but you can tell that the character's age.
Yeah.
It's like a natural aging that happens throughout the film. That you could possibly get to 20 years. At 32, 52, dude, Robert Downey Jr. was what was we in Iron Man 2 when Robert Downey Jr. was 52?
I think so, yeah.
If that, he probably was he was probably 60 already.
Probably in his 40s or 50s.
No, Robert
I wouldn't be
Downey
surprised
Jr.
if he was in his 40s. At Iron Man
You
2.
got to remember, Brody, Robert Downey Jr. was a young actor in his 20s and 30s and then went away for a long time.
That's true. He was 44 years old during the filming of Iron Man 2.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah, he just turned 61 this year.
But imagine if you on like
Damn.
Black Panther 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this dude is he's just 44, 42, 44.
It would
And
make
you
sense to
already
get a younger one.
got 3 or 4 movies. That's why I love that they like Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. I know there's probably some people that's really averse to it, but bro, you know how long she gonna be Jean Grey?
A minute.
She gonna be like, yeah.
Well, especially
Supposedly they already got the next 10 years mapped out. For these niggas specifically.
Yeah.
Them niggas and
that's
supposedly
why I'm like keep them young.
more news too. Supposedly, what is it? X-Men and what is it? Black Panther are supposed to be locked in step right now in regards to filming around the same time. I think they're 2 weeks apart. Supposedly Ryan Coogler is at the helm of casting a new Storm as well. There's been some rumors as of recently that Samara Weaving was reportedly cast as Emma Frost.
Yeah, that was confirmed too.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all. Let me look this up. Oh, I got it right here. Samara Weaving is in her 20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Great
Hey,
casting.
there might be a point in time where you want to do, she the youngest one, and you go, okay, let's do a something around the Hellfire gala thing. You know what? You could do something around that where it's catastrophe, because it always is something where catastrophe happens or something bad happens or something happens that progresses another story with those Hellfire galas in the comic books. You could use her as a bridge to something happening when maybe an actor or actress need a break, and if she playing a role for 10, 15, 20 years and she in her 20s, she'd be 42. And you can have that be that's the thinking that you need. That's what you need right here. We
She
gotta
gives
get
off
away
Emma
from
Frost vibes. Samara Weaving, I lied, is actually
yeah.
34 years old. She looks younger.
Okay, but that's still in the round.
That's
Still in the round.
Still in the round. Plus, I'm assuming that Emma Frost is
what
going to
we
be an
need.
older type of character in comparison to like a Jean Grey, Cyclops, all of that. Jazz.
Yeah.
So
Because what is Jean Grey in this? She like what, 21?
Supposedly 16 to 18, in that range. She was a late teenager. Yeah.
You gonna need her for 20 years. But that's why I'm not mad at it, because this actress should be able to play this role for 20 years. But by the time she play it for 20 years, that's when Jean Grey gonna be like in her 30s. So this girl gonna be Sadie Sink gonna be in her 40s. But that's about the limit you could go with pulling that off. You can't go further than that.
Remember, she'll catch up in age too. I keep forgetting these movies are gonna be filming like every 2 years anyway.
Keep in mind, Olivia Booth Ford. She was the actress that played Sarah Gray in Brand New Day.
She was 16.
She's 16 years old.
And
fucking Sadie Sink looks younger than her,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
I don't know if I agree with that. They
I
do
think she
look
did.
like sisters that would be close in age, but I did not think that Sadie Sink looked younger than that little girl.
They both look old to me.
right. I don't know if we got these Jeff Snyder things. I might just leave it off for next time. I did put in the group chat. What's her name? Carly Spaney is supposedly tapped for Rogue, and supposedly they've been getting all of these people together. The casting completed for D23, which is happening the 13th through the 15th, if I'm not mistaken, of this year of August. And that supposedly is when they will announce all of the casting for the X-Men, at least for the main mutants, for the X-Men film. So we're gonna be on the lookout for that. Might do a little special joint the day of, just to make sure y'all up to date. I don't know if we got anything else right now. There's some other stuff. Clayface new trailer that we never talked about.
When is that?
Avatar Aang. D23. D23 is August 14th through the 16th in Anaheim, California.
Damn.
Ooh.
So we might get, they might actually fully release that Doomsday.
Crew.
Supposedly they are dropping the complete X-Men crew. And if I'm thinking correctly, if it's Ryan Coogler and he's supposed to cast Storm because Storm is supposed to be in the new Black Panther 3 film, I'm leaning towards Jamie Lawson. Yeah. I'm leaning towards it.
She gonna be old as hell though.
Jamie Lawson. I'm assuming that some of these characters
you gotta
will
get
be
somebody
older.
That looks
Jamie's
like
28.
It's appropriate for them to date David Johnson now, but he looked kind of young. It depends on how young they make him look, cause see, here's the thing though. They did a good job at making him look young in The Long Walk, but then I feel like even though he was an android in Alien Romulus, he did look like his age.
Older. Yeah.
In Alien Romulus, so he might be one of those flexible actors where if the role calls for him to look significantly younger, you can make him appear or feel
slap a mustache,
younger,
a goatee, and a fade on that nigga, older, and he's 32.
Could be older.
Like a Sims character.
Yeah, it's like he's one of those people where it's little things can change the person completely. But what I'm saying is whatever way they decide to go with that is how they got to make sure that Storm, what Storm looks like lines up with that. Like if they go younger for him, if they say we want him to be a real young T'Challa, then you can't get no woman that look 33, 34 years old playing Storm and kissing up on him, even if they are the same age in real life. You can't, it's just gonna look weird. This is a fully formed woman and you got this boy looking like he 22. It's like, Storm, what you got going on? So that's the thing with him. That's where like I kind of got a little bit more like, I don't know. It all depends. Ryan Coogler just gonna have to tell us what he going with Storm, and then I'll understand better what type of David Johnson we getting. Because bro, you can't do that. You can't have him feeling like no 20-year-old and she feel like a 34-year-old woman.
Hey, he might.
Disney not doing that.
They might not even go the route of having her be with Black Panther. She might fuck around and be with Forge or
I was
something.
thinking that.
Could be potentially.
That's a possibility.
And we could stop. We could stop it off.
But you know they be up in the Twitter streets.
Yeah. I think she's gonna be a pivotal part. I think they did this for a specific reason, so that they can have a T'Challa be around Storm's age and then cultivate that. Because supposedly, again, they're gonna have a lot of mutants all over the place, and they're gonna be tied into other Marvel films that's not necessarily a mutant as the main character type of thing. Just like we got Spider-Man with Jean Grey, you're gonna have Black Panther with Storm. You might have another person, Ghost Rider, could be with Magic. You know, who fucking knows? Just to leave it off too with Jeff Snyder, one of these things where we talked about the Wonder Man. Let me actually share this tab instead. There we go. All right.
I feel like when the name Snyder in comic books is like, insane.
Yeah. Go together.
Every element of comics, it's a Snyder.
Yeah. at every level.
Oh, it's Snyder and Schneider.
Yeah, he got the crazy way to spell it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But this is what he talked about. And now let's talk
they
about
cousin.
and now let's talk about the Wonder Man cancellation. Excuse me, non-renewal. I'm told that this is a part of a larger strategy to effectively exit the live-action TV business. Not entirely, but for the most part. When you think about it, that makes sense. Disney just learned this lesson with Star Wars. The brand stopped feeling special. Marvel needs to feel special, and when there are 3 new TV shows a year or whatever, it stops feeling that way. I think that going forward, you continue to see shows like What If, and even more shows like Spidey and His Amazing Friends produced by Marvel Studios Animation that are aimed at bringing younger fans into the MCU and getting them familiar with Marvel's roster of beloved characters. What you won't see is an entire season built around lesser known characters like Wonder Man. Vision Quest makes sense because the character of Vision is a known entity from the Avengers movies. I expect season 3 of Daredevil Born Again to happen because, again, there's an established fan base for it. But I don't think Disney Plus will be taking many more shots like Wonder Man, and I think that's why the Nova series suddenly became a movie. But that's just my read on things. Wonder Man was a great show. Trust me, I watched it, and it won me over. And I think we'll see Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's hero again, 2 possibly in Secret Wars, but that'll be the end of him, and that may be why he had no future on Disney Plus. I'm just speculating here. But clearly this move is about more than Wonder Man, since Disney Plus had already renewed the show. Its viewership numbers had to be good enough back then, though I understand that Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley don't move the needle much, no matter how perfect they were together, and that Wonder Man's powers were hard to describe. After all, with Spider-Man and the Hulk, the premise of the character is right there in the name. I think casual fans didn't know what to expect of Wonder Man and didn't give the show a chance. But he also says it's not a good look for Marvel to cancel Wonder Man the same week that Ali is coming out swinging regarding the Blade movie. To some fans, there's a feeling that Marvel is pointing to Black Panther with one hand and with the other giving up on everything else black. Look at Armor Wars or how Ironheart was treated. Even Ryan Coogler's animated Black Panther spinoff Eyes of Wakanda was just 4 episodes. I know these are pretty simplistic supporting arguments, each with their own unique set of circumstances, but I can see how such a perception might foment something that Marvel PR might want to think about nipping in the bud by announcing Storm sooner rather than later, if only to prevent her from feeling like an also ran when the X-Men cast is announced. Like if it's here's Jean Grey and Emma Frost and White Cyclops and White Rogue and oh yeah, here's Storm, that's not a good look. Storm needs to be prioritized.
Yeah.
That's basically a lot of what he said.
Which
I
can last
agree.
Part right there is it. Because if it's not to exactly what he said to that last and that very last bit, if it's not to that, you're not going to insult my intelligence and wave something in front of my face while you're doing something else with the other hand. We not doing that. Like, you're not going to just, okay, as long as we introduce another black character, the black people are all fine. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, that's just insulting, because that's not even the argument that we making. The argument that we making is you can have stronger uses with characters that are received well in whether it's Marvel Comics or in a format that is fitted for a screen. Mm-hmm. If it does occur, you can utilize those characters better. That's the argument that we making. So you're not just going to wave Storm in my face and act like you solved everything, and then if you don't have Storm in a prioritized role, then what good does that against my original argument in the first place? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can't act like we stupid. Come on now. I hope that's not Marvel's plan. They better not be.
I think this opens up the door more for more consistent, again, hopefully, black characters that we're accustomed to seeing in Marvel Comics. Blade, hopefully they get that taken care of and just get a new actor that's a lot up and coming actor, so that they're not breaking the bank. Hopefully, again, they bring in a Blue Marvel, especially with the cosmic side expanding out and you get the Nova and everything. I feel like a Blue Marvel would be a perfect addition to a Nova film, potentially, just because of like the cosmic background for both of those characters. I feel like that would probably be the most advantageous way, probably, to introduce him. I don't know. We'll probably talk about that again.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but because I know the nature of our fans, you would have to not necessarily do his backstory though. Even with Fantastic Four, you would probably not have to do his backstory. It'd have to be something where you would have to have that explained at a separate point.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, with unfortunately how our world is,
Mm-hmm.
they gonna say that takes away from the movie.
Mm-hmm. You can introduce him in a film and then go into his backstory in a different joint. I think, but I think introducing him into the film and then introducing how dope of a character he is.
I think that'll be fine because. Exactly. Yep. Sorry, you took the words. I should just let you keep talking. I'm sorry for interrupting
you good.
because you took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly the point I was gonna make.
I think that'll be hopefully they get it together though. You know, I can understand where y'all coming
I hope
from.
Marvel hears that loud and proud. I hope Marvel hears that loud and clear. That last paragraph there, because I can see these sentiments that he's saying being the case, and then some of it I do know is the case. But that last little bit is the part that's what Marvel, you gonna have to understand that because it's gonna come off more offensive if you don't.
Yeah, I gotta lock in Marvel. I think at the end of the day, if they have Wonder Man present in a fucking West Coast Avengers film and being one of the main leads, or if he's in Mutants since they left his fucking power set up in the air if he's a mutant or not. And if they end up bringing a new Blade, if they end up bringing Blue Marvel, if they end up using Ironheart in a fucking Midnight Suns thing so that we actually progress their stories, then y'all could nip all of this shit in the bud. In the bud. I think that's the phrase. I think that's the phrase. Mm-hmm. If y'all do that and y'all make sure that these characters are still present, then niggas won't be able to hit y'all over the head with all of this shit. But if y'all don't, then niggas is gonna be side-eyeing y'all even more so than niggas already are right now. And it's not like these characters are just bad characters.
The show we don't have Mr. Ocabulon on.
Right? Right? It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy.
We need it.
He'd have been shitting on Marvel this whole time though. Facts. He'd have been like, these niggas, they don't care about niggas. They don't care about niggas. And then he would have dropped like 20 different black comic book authors that we got to tap into. Rightfully so, too.
Which we still do. We still do.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Mr. I'll give you like he's not even here. Hey, but I think we're going to end off there. I think that was pretty good. Again, we got the D23 coming up soon. We still got some more projects that we got to tap into that we haven't. I don't know if any of y'all tapped into the Aang, Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
No.
We still got to review that new
Lisa
Clayface
Jean.
trailer. Oh, go ahead. Lisa Jean, 9997
with us. Thank you for stopping by. I'm sorry we couldn't get to your comments.
Yeah. We do apologize for that, but please tap in, make sure you hit that noti bell as well to stay locked in with us. We will be coming back more with the new Clayface trailer. I don't know if anything else is coming out, and the Spider-Man that took the cake. Are y'all going to see it again? I'm going to see it in IMAX.
No.
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to see it in IMAX. I got to see it in IMAX. I already told Shawty today. Once I found out that the tickets released tomorrow, I'm like, we're going back again this weekend.
It's going to be IMAX. Yeah.
I got to. I got to watch it in IMAX. But nonetheless, we appreciate y'all yet again for stopping on by. Episode 111. Sorry we've been off for the last 2 weeks. A whole lot of shit been going on. A whole lot of moving parts been going on. And niggas been sick as well. So bear with us. We'll be back on this journey. And then we'll start doing a countdown to Doomsday. We should probably do some like watch parties. I got to figure out if there's any apps or websites that we can watch movies.
Facts.
With people and everything, and then give our live reactions. Because I wouldn't mind going back through the movies with y'all, to be honest with y'all. I feel like that'd be a dope experience.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, yeah, make sure y'all tap in with us. Make sure, again, y'all hit that noti bell. Make sure y'all hitting that like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you agree with us. Let us know if you don't, and if you think we're stupid. We appreciate all content and commentary. All right? Y'all take it easy. We'll be back at the regularly scheduled programming, I believe, Sunday next week. Probably around 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. Peace.